Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit Lowe's.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Turning pretty hot out there for us this afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s under mostly sunny skies, but our humidity is moderate, so it isn't going to feel as sticky as it would potentially in July. Mid-60s overnight tonight under clear skies, and then mostly sunny tomorrow. It's a hot one with a high of 89.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 161 points to 46,179. Market update brought to you by Bet365. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sports books, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Lopez, play action, looking deep, has a man, Ship elevates to bring it in at the 10, uses a stiff arm to sit a spider down.
Mensah, deep drop, fires for Shepard on the left, it'll take it in for the touchdown.
Young, the snap, fakes to Hubbard, quick throw, red throw, makes the catch for the touchdown. Bryce, under pressure,
Canales
back at the 46-yard line. Campbell, the ageless one, Calais Campbell.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Big day today, everybody. Second to last day for you to get your keywords for the Sin City Skateaway. First day on the ice for the Carolina Hurricanes in training camp. College football starts for the week. Charlotte, the only game in town. UNC Charlotte playing tonight. A triangle-on-triangle ACC match over the weekend. UNC's going down to Florida. And right here on The Drive, where I'm Tim Donnelly and Dennis Cox produces, it's time for the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Carolina Hurricanes are on the ice, everybody.
Let's go.
This morning, 9 a.m., the first group got out there on the ice, which means it's finally not speculative for us to talk about who's skating with who. It's finally not who would you skate with Aho or who would you put with Keandre Miller. Nope, now we have at least their initial first draft. Right? Nothing's final, and I assume they're going to mix it up at least a few times throughout training camp. But we have the initial lines that they skated at camp. the first line, Aho, centering Ehlers and Jarvis. I know it's what's expected, but it's just fun to say, so I wanted to start there. I just like saying it out loud. Here's where I think most people will get there first. Oh, really? Second line center, Logan Stankoven. With Blake on one side, Svetch on the other, that's an interesting place to start. That's first of all, I kind of like it. If we're just like a gut reaction, I kind of like it. Stankoven is one of the forwards, even of the quote-unquote undersized forwards, who you do feel like has a little bit more stockiness to throw around and can mix it up there in center in the face-off circle and all that. Rod Brindamore spoke about the decision, and this is what he had to say.
Well, it's just based out of, we got a lot of forwards, a lot of high-end forwards, and you got to get them on the ice. You got to figure out, how that's going to work. So, I don't know. We're going to move lines around all camp, try different things, but can't hurt to see how that looks.
Do you know what it sounds like? And I know it's not this because in hockey you can't quite, but it sounds like conversations you have about a basketball team where they're just like, I don't know, I want to get my 5 best players on the court, so we had to go with a point forward situation because, whoever could bring the ball up had to bring the ball up. It's like, hey, you know what? We have 6 forwards that we want in our top 6. And if that means one of them's got to play center, that means one of them's got to play center. So we're giving Stankoven the chance there. And again, I see the logic. I like the fit. It's not written in stone, right? It's in pencil at the moment, so you can move it around if you need to. But I just think it makes like the lines up and down better, which is really what you're looking for. The other thing that I think people will be tracking throughout training camp, and this is just the like I said, the first draft, rough draft, is who's skating together on the blue line. And it's a little bit tougher because Slavin didn't skate. Jacob Slavin didn't skate today, although, nobody's going to be worried about Jacob Slavin. It's like, oh, he really needed that to get up to speed. It's just not how it works with him.
Yeah, Rod downplayed it today. Like, he trained really hard this summer. He'll be fine.
But if you take Riley, who was out there skating, and say that's where Slavin would be, then it's him and Walker, which I'm excited by. That's what I've been hoping for. The new guy, Keandre Miller, skating with Jalen Chatfield. Speed. That's exciting. And that puts Nikishin with Gostisbehere, which I think makes sense also. Those guys can a lot of offensive skill in that pairing there. There's a lot of if Nikishin lives up to everything we've heard about his time in Russia and obviously the little bits we saw in the postseason, there's a lot of feel for the game in that pairing, a lot of vision and all those sorts of things. So the blue lines, I'm going to be excited regardless of who's skating with who, but I like the way they're starting. Dennis, your first reactions?
I love the idea of Keandre Miller and Jalen Chatfield skating together. Love
agree.
it. And then, Stankoven at center, give it a shot. Because, okay, if it doesn't work, you put him back on the wing. And you know that works. Like, that's still there in your back pocket. Hey, we know we can go to what works.
There's actually, I think, a lot of that where it's like, try this, and if it doesn't work, you can go back to this other thing. You could put Stankoven on the stall line if you need to. You could have Svetch jump up with Jaho, Arvis and Jaho. Man, did they get it like a couple nicknames? Is that
yes, we did. We just found something.
Brangelina or
Jarho?
Jarho. I don't know if that's – anyway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's number 1 in the Big 3 at 3. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
North Carolina, the Tar Heels on the road this weekend at UCF. I started doing my deep dive into this prep, and I don't think I recognized originally, and I think it's because Scott Frost has a history with UCF, even though he hasn't been the coach of UCF, how, quite frankly, new everything is at UCF also. Their coach is new old, but new. He hasn't been a head coach in a handful of years, since 2022. Last year, he was a senior analyst for, I think it was the Rams or the Niners. Let me make sure I have that correct here. Yes, there you go, with the Rams. They've only played 2 games, UCF. which was a win against Jacksonville State by 7, and then they kind of lit up North Carolina A&T by a bunch. But neither of those are the most like grizzled, war, battle-tested squads to play against. So I like this one for UNC as a real who's the more experienced team, who's the more chemistry team. Up until now, you could argue the games that UNC has played have all been under the cloud of UNC is new, this other team, they know each other better, they've got more experience, they've got more chemistry. This one, UNC is going to have all of those advantages. They're going to be on the road, sure, and UCF has some talent, don't get me wrong. But how much experience have they gained since the TCU game, I think, is going to be on full display? How much experience have they gained? What have they learned? Every coach will tell you, right? You either win or you learn. One of those little cliches, right? You either win or you learn. But in the other cases, a loss is just a loss unless you learn. We have to see what UNC has learned since that TCU game, and I think UCF is going to be an opportunity for them to flex those lessons. Make someone else look like they have low chemistry. That's number 2. Let's hit number 3.
Number 3.
Latest for the Carolina Panthers. There's an interesting decision they have to make. Xavier Legette, who is at the center of a probably overreaction storm in every direction. It seems like nobody thinks this guy is a raw wide receiver prospect who might one day become something effective. It's either he's the biggest bust pick in the history of the world, and how did the Panthers not realize that and draft Ladd McConkey instead? Goodness gracious. Or it's not his fault at all. It's Bryce Young in the offense. He's ready to be a star. There's nobody in the middle. He had 8 targets, got -2 receiving yards this past week. He has 15 targets for 8 yards on the season, and the blame is coming in fast and hot from every direction. Yesterday, came up a little sore after some drills with a hamstring, so they limited him and pretty much sat him down for the rest of practice. Today, he was back out there in pads, normal jersey, practicing. However, David Newton has a video that he took of Xavier Legette running some routes. He doesn't look 100%. I'm not a doctor, right? So don't. The way he's running makes me think that the Panthers might have a get-out-of-jail-free card if they want to give him a little bit of a reset, if they want to sit him down for a week or two. I don't think it would be a made-up injury. I think it would be hey, you're one of our speed guys. We need you to be dynamic with the ball in your hands. If you're out there at even if it's 90% speed, we don't want to take that chance. Let's sit you down and figure it out. Because when you watch the video, once he makes the catch, you can kind of tell there's one leg working harder than the other. And that's usually a sign of at least not confidence in a body part. And Xavier Legette isn't someone at this point in his career where he can get by on craftiness and wit and guile. He needs to be somebody that can lean on his physical gifts as, the 6'1", 220, 4.39 running behemoth. It is unreal how quickly the NFL comes at you. And I mean that in this way. We weren't sure if they were going to have to cut a really good receiver not that long ago. They trade Adam Thielen partially because he kind of was forcing it. Right? He took less money to go play in Minnesota. His wife was asking for it on social media to go back to Minnesota. He ends up back in Minnesota. Jalen Coker has the quad injury. Xavier Legette underperforms and now might not be 100%. And suddenly you're looking at Bryson Tremaine going so what are we talking, 80%, 80% of the snaps? Hunter Renfrow, you're not allowed to get hurt. It's that kind of situation. And maybe Tetairoa McMillan gets 1,000 targets, which you won't hear me complain about for their game against Atlanta this weekend. Should be a fun one, and I would not be surprised if Xavier Legette, even if he's active, gets a significant drop down in snaps, because you need to make sure that guy is as healthy as he can be to take advantage of all those physical gifts that he has. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The other game coming up this weekend is between two Triangle teams, NC State visiting Duke. and also a matchup between what I'm calling two old souls at quarterback, C.J. Bailey, Darian Mensah. What part of their games will decide the outcome? I'll tell you next.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Football season is back, and let's be honest, your living room doesn't have award-winning wings, a massive beer selection, and over 50 TVs. Carolina Ale House does. We've got homemade favorites and so many screens you can watch every game at once. Bring your crew, bring your appetite, and get loud with us. Don't fumble your game day plans. Come watch the game at Carolina Ale House, where great sports deserves great food. Hell yeah!
Hey everybody, Paul Wyhander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. So get in on this Thursday's action. It's Miami-Buffalo. All you got to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Take your shot at the jackpot. FanDuel.com/Paul for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Under center is Bailey, left hashes. Takes the snap. It's a drop back, dump off, end zone touchdown. Justin Jolie leaks out after the snap, and he catches it with two hands. Near side of the right end zone, and the Packs on the board.
Was thinking you were gonna stay here with me.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we dive into some quarterback talk between NC State and Duke, let's jump into some free trip to Vegas talk. Hockey fans, get ready. The Sin City Skateaway is here. On Monday, we will be picking the winner. So that'll tell you that today and tomorrow are the last days you have to gain entries into the Sin City Skateaway. Today, for the remainder of the show, once an hour, in the 3 o'clock hour, the 4 o'clock hour, and the 5 o'clock hour, as well as from noon to 6 tomorrow here on 99.9 The Fan, we'll be giving out keywords. And if you hear the keyword and you text it in to the number I'm about to give you by the start of the next hour. So for this keyword, you have to text it in by 4 o'clock when it will expire, and there's nothing we can do about it. You need to text it in by 4 o'clock. If you do, you'll gain an entry into the Sin City Skateaway, where you could win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena on October 20th. You could win a round-trip airfare for 2 to Vegas. You could win 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino, and you could win $400 in food credit, and that's not 4 different prizes. That is all in one prize. One person will receive all of that, and they'll get to share it with somebody else because obviously you get a pair of tickets and a pair of round-trip tickets and a 3-night stay. So anyway, the keyword for today is brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers and Newcomb & Company, and the word is melt. M-E-L-T. Melt. Text MELT to 919-860-5326 by 4 o'clock to earn an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Texting MELT, M-E-L-T, to 919-860-5326 could be the text that wins you a free trip to Vegas.
If you want one more entry, though, Tim.
Tell them how to get one more entry.
If you want one more entry for an extra chance to win,
there's only 2 ways to get entries, everybody. You got to text in the keywords that you hear on 99.9 The Fan or what Dennis is about to tell you.
That's right. For an extra chance to win, join Victoria Vodenecra from the Adam Gold Show tonight. That's right. Tonight at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail, she'll be there for a sports watch party from 6 to 8 p.m. She'll have a QR code for you to scan and score an extra entry into the Sin City Skateaway.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now we can jump into some quarterback nerdery, some quarterback talk. C.J. Bailey and Darian Mensah in a matchup this weekend, by the way, between Duke and NC State, Duke hosting NC State, that features the two highest-graded passers according to Pro Football Focus in the ACC. Carson Beck might be one of the one or two Heisman favorites, depending on which sports book you're looking at, but he is not the highest-graded passer in the ACC. That falls on Darian Mensah of Duke, and the second is C.J. Bailey of State. And the craziest part about it is C.J. Bailey is 19 years old, Darian Mensah is 20. These guys, can't legally drink yet, let alone even think about renting a car like some quarterbacks can when they're in their 7th and 8th year of eligibility. It's kind of a testament to just the way football players are brought up nowadays. In high school, you're learning how to read defenses, so as a freshman, you can come in and run right through it, where, 10 years ago, I think most of high school reading defenses was the corner looks short, my receiver looks tall, I think I'm going to throw it to him. There's only one person guarding my best player, I think I'm going to throw it to him. Now it's getting much more complicated, they're much more ready. So C.J. Bailey looks like a wizened old veteran, to the point where I'm talking with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, and he's surprised when C.J. Bailey doesn't go to the right place in a route combination or in reading out a concept. It used to be if you had a 19-year-old starting quarterback, you'd borderline be surprised if they got it to the right spot. You just hoped, even with a bad decision, he didn't have a huge problem with it, didn't make the big mistake. Now he's surprised when Bailey doesn't go to the right spot. Darian Mensah is a $4 million player, according to NIL reports. He's a 20-year-old quarterback. Dave Doran, head coach of NC State, talked about these two quarterbacks. First, we'll hear him talk about his own guy, how C.J. Bailey can beat you in multiple ways.
He's a big weapon. He's multi-talented. He can think, process information. He sees the game. He understands what's coming at him. He knows his teammates really well, his chemistry with those guys. He knows where to put the football. He understands protections. He's seeing defenses way better than he was a year ago. And he can run, and he's a really tough kid. So he's a really good player and a great human being. So, I'm blessed, to have a quarterback like him right now and one that just cares so much, not just about the guys. He cares about the program, he cares about the school, he cares about his teammates. And so, yeah, it's fun having a QB like CJ running the show.
You can tell when a coach really likes a player if you ask him like a small question about him, they almost have to run through all of the checklist of things. If you talk to Dave Dorn, you'd be like, how did C.J. Bailey develop as a passer in the offseason? He's going to go, as a passer, he does this, and this. As a runner, he does this, and this. As a leader, he does this, and this. As a off-season workout guy, he does this, and it's just like, oh, you got to say it all because you can't help yourself. Well, Dave Dorn, the head coach of NC State, what did he have to say about the opposing team's quarterback, Darian Mensah, and what makes him a threat in their passing game?
He's a really good passer. He can throw every ball. He can put a zip on it. He can throw it way down the field. But this year what you see is when he's scrambling to throw, he can make all the throws on the run. And he's made some really nice scramble throws down the field. He's a good runner. He's obviously not a guy they want to run downhill at you all the time, but you got to trust your edges. You got to be sound on QB run game. And, he's won a lot of football games. At Tulane, they were a really, really good football team. So, he's been a leader on a winning football team, so he's got command presence.
A lot of good things right there. Ran through the whole list for Darian Mensah. They're not playing like young guys. They're not playing like not upperclassmen. They're not playing like they're not 21. They're playing like old souls. And you hope they continue, but I think the game could come down to which old soul gets rattled like a youngster. Which one makes the couple of bad decisions? I'm not saying either of them. I don't think either of them will have a game this year where they make, a half dozen awful decisions. But I think if you get them on the if you confuse them, you can get a couple out of them. And it's funny because we're going to talk, by the way, with Manny Diaz later in the show, Duke's head coach. He joined us earlier. We'll play that conversation for you, the Heister Automotive Group hotline. And in preparation for that, I stumbled into they're right there. It's not like I do digging. It's turnover margin, right? Their turnover margin is a direct input into what the output of the games are. The win versus Elon, they won by a bunch. Darian Mensah did not turn the ball over. They lost in a blowout to Illinois, one of the best teams in the country. What did Darian Mensah have? 1 interception and 2 lost fumbles. They lost by a bunch. Bunch of turnovers, lost by a bunch. Then they had a close loss versus Tulane. It ended up being a 1-score game. Well, what did Darian Mensah have? 1 interception. Small amounts of turnovers, small losing margin. Big amounts of turnovers, big losing margin. No turnovers, big winning margin. Then we're talking to Mike Lennon, which, by the way, check out the Pack Therapy podcast, available everywhere podcasts can be found. And we're talking about the NC State side of things. And I asked him to give me an if-then statement. If blank happens, then NC State will win the game. That simple. Fill in the blank. And he goes right to, and by the way, he's been right the last 2 weeks, right? If this happens, then NC State wins. The thing that he filled the blank in with, State did. They won the game. So going into this one, I'm interested to hear it. And he says, if C.J. Bailey can avoid turnovers. I even pressed him on it. I said, are you going to give him one? You're going to give him a little wiggle room? You're going to give him one? He said, no. He said, if he avoids, he said, I want a clean sheet. If he avoids turnovers, NC State wins the game. So now you're going into a conference game. Big games are always in league play.
Yeah.
Crosstown rivalry, right? 2 teams that know each other, respect each other, all those sorts of things. And there's direct evidence on both sides, either expert analysis or statistical observations that say if your quarterback keeps it out of the other team's hands, you will win the game. And I would even go a step further and say if there is wiggle room, the turnovers may be coming from somewhere else, right? If a wide receiver makes a catch, fumbles it or something like that, that's different than a quarterback turnover because coaches can always put wide receivers in the doghouse. All right, not throwing that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Can't do that with your quarterback, right? If your quarterback gets rattled, it's a different beast. So it's I don't think we should take it for granted or just assume that these young quarterbacks, who even Darian Mensah, who started a lot of football games this last year, and actually C.J. Bailey, who started a lot of football games last year. Darian Mensah, 1 recruiting class older, but it's his first time in power conference football, right? He was playing for Tulane last year, and C.J. Bailey wasn't the starter going into last year. They're still relatively green in their developments at this level. I don't think it's fair to assume the turnovers will be automatically limited. So whoever does that puts their team in a pretty advantageous situation looking at the win. And by the way, a win would be huge for both.
For sure.
State would get to 4-0 with some games they would expect to win up next. Duke would get back to 500. And it's, I always make fun of this, but it's like a pivotal game 4 where 1-3 to 2-2 are 2 different seasons that you're having.
Yeah, 1-3 and 0-1 in the conference
is
for Duke if they lose this one. But State goes to 2-0 in the ACC. Like you said, 4-0 and a couple of looks like easy games coming up.
In a weird way, 3-0 in the ACC. It's like
True.
2.5 in the ACC. I don't know. It's a non-conference conference game against UVA. So it is a pivotal game on both sides, which means it's pivotally important that they protect the football. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, pivotally, I said it better the first time. It's also pivotally important that you head out to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And when I talk about how important the details are, there's no better way to display that you understand the little things are important than putting a luxury timepiece on your watch. It says a lot more than just telling the time, although they do that, right? And they keep time impressive. You get a mechanical watch, you wind it up, you're good to go. You get an automatic watch, and just the mechanical engineering in there is mind-blowing, right? Just the movement on your wrist can charge up, essentially, your watch. But then on top of that, you can get something like a G-Shock, you can get something like a Timex, something that will have the quartz movement as well, and you just worry about changing the batteries every handful of years. There's something for everybody, but either way, no matter which way you go, pre-owned and vintage Rolex, iconic Omega Moonwatch, rough and tumble G-Shock, right? Whatever the item is that you put on your wrist, the statement that you put on your wrist, it says something about you. And they're all going to say, you pay attention to the details, and you're there to do what you're there to do, right? If you're there to be rough and tumble, you get one of the rough and tumble watches. You're there to have a good time, you get something a little bit more glitzy and glamorous. You're there to conduct business, you can get yourself a nice fancy dress watch. There's something for everyone at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Follow them on Instagram, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Hit the DMs with any questions you have about inventory or watch upkeep or anything along those lines. Experts always looking to respond. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up next and later in this hour. As promised, we'll talk with Manny Diaz, the head coach of Duke football. Stick around.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent Trane dealer. We back exceptional Trane products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a Trane, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOVE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Moore running left, cuts inside across the 25, angles right, Moore is loose, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Jacquez Moore takes it home from 32.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, we're going to get to the Dean's List, but Dennis just whispered some, what's the opposite of sweet nothings? Like some loud bads some loud somethings in my ear, meaning he jumped in my headset and told me some stuff about the Panthers that Panthers fans probably won't like. So I'm gonna make Dennis tell you as the messenger.
So the injury report for today just dropped. Patrick Jones did not practice again today, dealing with a hamstring injury that's not looking good. Or last week he was battling an ankle injury, but still played. Kershaw Wharton still didn't practice. Obviously, he's dealing with that hamstring injury. I think we could safely rule that he's out this week. Xavier Leggett was limited at practice with the hamstring. Some of the guys that we saw yesterday that didn't practice, like Hunter Renfroe, J.C. Horn, they just simply had rest days. But they practiced in full today. Same with Bryce and Tremaine. He's full practice. But a couple names did pop up on the injury report that weren't there yesterday. Bobby Brown III, the big defensive tackle that they signed this offseason, he did not practice today due to a knee injury, I guess is the listing that they have here. And Trayvon Merrick, the safety they signed this offseason, did not practice today. Illness. He's sick.
All right, well,
I'm okay with the illness.
I was going to say, traditionally, illnesses are more just getting back to 100% feeling than they are like an actual something that could miss a game.
Yeah, it's also like, hey, don't come in here and spread this today. Stay home. True. We'll get you back here tomorrow.
The interesting part of these injuries, at least a lot of them, are they seem to be happening in positions where a lot of the reps and or opportunities would go to their draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Where if Bobby Brown gets hurt, maybe we could see our first real action from Cam Jackson, their fifth-round big dude.
Yeah, got a few snaps last week, but not a whole lot.
If Pat Jones is out and misses time, that would obviously be an opportunity for Scorton and Umamielen to get more time.
For sure.
If Xavier Leggett is anything less than 100%, those 8 targets could easily end up, at least a couple of them, being force-fed to Teterow and McMillan.
Jimmy Horn Jr.
Or Jimmy Horn Jr. might get his first real action of the season. Yeah. So, it's a kind of the football gods a little bit saying, play the draft picks.
Yeah.
If by the way, sometimes, guy just needs a little bit of a break and he comes back the next day and he's fine. I'm not saying all these are like, they're now going to miss the season, but it is something to monitor. The Drive at Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's put the Dean's List in session. Dean's List, starting with, I guess we have to put college football coaches on the Dean's List.
Go on.
Because they've won the battle for one less transfer portal window. College football is officially moving to a single offseason transfer portal window. The NCAA announced yesterday. The Division I Administrative Committee voted to approve a legislative change that eliminates the spring transfer window. I hate this, but it's good for coaches. Do you know why? Because now coaches can lie. All I want is the players to have the information to make a decision that makes sense for them. And the first time for the following season that coaches are kind of forced to be honest is spring ball. Right after the season, because what do we hear about the big bad thing about the transfer portal in general? Guys they don't want to compete. They want to run away from competition. They don't want to, they just want to go and have the starting job given to them. And I'm like, well, okay, yes, I agree with that. But there's a lot of situations where they're just not given the chance to compete, right? They can't beat somebody out if the coaches have already decided the race is over, right? You can't win a race if the race never begins. So now coaches can say, after the fall season and exit interviews, right, the starter is going pro at your position, or the starter has exhausted their eligibility. All right. Listen here. Sport, that's what coaches, champ, sit down. It's 50-50. You got to go out and win it. You got to go out and earn the job. If you go, you're going to get every opportunity that this other player gets, and you got to go earn the job. And you're like, deal, I'm in. I'm sticking around. You go to spring ball first day. They get 35 reps with the ones. You get 2. You're like, this doesn't feel like it's 50-50. I stuck around to compete because I'm a competitor and I want to go win a job. This doesn't feel like you're giving me a chance. They're like, yeah, but guess what? The transfer portal window closed a couple months ago. You're here for the year anyway. Welcome to the backups. Meanwhile, if it's actually an open competition, or even if the coaches just want you to believe it's an open competition and there's a transfer portal window after spring ball, they have to at least treat it like an open competition. And if you're getting the reps, you can prove it, right? Not anymore. Now they lie to you right after the season. You're stuck for another year. I don't know why you can't just do it after spring ball. Do you have a Dean's List you'd like to throw on here, Dennis?
I do not, actually.
All right, then we'll roll right along to the Big 12 and London. The Post and Courier has learned that Arizona State and Kansas will play this football in London next year, part of a multi-year deal for an event that they're calling the Union Jack Classic.
I like the name.
The first game is scheduled for September 19th, 2026 at Wembley Stadium. Wembley's huge. Like that's a gigantic
massive,
stadium. Pre-sale tickets are expected to begin in the next few weeks. There's some I's that need to be dotted and T's that need to be crossed in the agreement. I like the creativity. I like the Ireland games. I like all that kind of cool stuff. I think it's cool for the players. I think it's cool for the fan base. When I was growing up in Hawaii, teams that weren't in Hawaii's conference, like in a non-conference game, would go to Hawaii. So many of their fans would be like, you know what? Let's get in 8 days early for the game and just turn it into a family vacation, and they would turn it into a whole event. I think you can do that for stuff like this, right? Now, if you're a Kansas or an Arizona State football fan, you might be like, you know what? Let's spend 9 days in Europe and include going to see our favorite team play in Wembley, and it can be a whole experience for you. And lastly, on the Dean's List, I just wanted to update this, and I think we played it on air. When we were at ACC kickoff, we talked with Lewis Bond, Boston College wide receiver. He gave us some insight into Bill O'Brien and gave us some insight into that program. Super engaging football player. But one of the things that was being passed around aggressively at ACC kickoff was Lewis Bond was 75 catches away from passing Zay Flowers, who's now a star with the Ravens, first-round pick, for most receptions in Boston College career history. 75 catches. And I remember, like, we did the conversation about it. We talked about what it would mean to him, and he played with Zay, so, the back and forth they have. But in my head, I was going, this dude had a career year last year. He had 67 catches. Like, I feel like we're making this a big deal, and maybe we're setting him up for a little disappointment. So today I checked into it. Do you know how many catches he has through 3 games?
How many?
29 catches.
That's a lot.
He is on his way. So I just want to give a shout out to Lewis Bond. Maybe I wasn't giving you the love, even though I was doing it like just going through the motions in the conversation because that's what was being pumped out by the PR team about him. In my head, I was not giving you the appropriate respect. He's on pace for like 115 catches. He needs 75. Not saying he'll get 115, but 75 seems much more within grasp when you knock out 29 of them things through 3 games. So there you go. That's the Dean's List for today. Go ahead and dismiss that. We do have that conversation with Manny Diaz, the head coach of Duke, from earlier today, coming up after the break. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. If you've heard me say this before when it comes to being a motorcycle rider, is that always check and inspect your bike before you ride. And believe it or not, I actually, before I got on the motorcycle to come to work today, check engine lights on. It's not a good thing. Ran the diagnostic codes. I'm like, okay, there's actually a sensor that just needs to be reset. But you know what? Out of pure caution, I say, you know what? I'm getting in the car, taking it to work today. Because the last thing you want as a motorcycle rider is to have something with your engine or your tires or something just go wrong as you're riding down the road. You don't have the luxury of 4 steel walls and a roof and a floor surrounding you. You don't have that. So be cautious before you get on the motorcycle and get out on the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you contact your insurance company. Because here's the thing. Insurance companies, they don't want to give you anything. They want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're there to fight for you. They're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and gear are worth, but also they understand the dangers of the road and what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Next up, as promised, we talked with Manny Diaz ahead of his Duke Blue Devils hosting NC State over the weekend. That conversation coming up next.
Hey, girl. Haven't seen you downtown lately. Nope, sticking to our go-to places. You mean like Sharky's? Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3. You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection. And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it. Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other? Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durley Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Tired of hearing this from your local tire place?
Sorry, we can't fix it. Take it to Dauntless.
This year, skip the middleman and take your car straight to Dauntless Transmissions if you want quality work done right the first time. Transmissions, engine, or brake work, or just a regular tune-up. If it's broke, Dauntless will fix it. For quality work done with the kind of experience that works for you, take it to Dauntless Transmissions first. Go to DauntlessTransmissions.com to book your visit today. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
The rarest finds, the finest brands, the moment you've been waiting for. September 25th through 27th, discover an unmatched collection of pre-owned Rolex and Cartier watches at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. For 3 days only, shop highly coveted timepieces as well as an expanded selection of luxury pre-owned handbags from the designers you love. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry September 25th through 27th for iconic watches and coveted handbags. Visit BaileyBox.com for details.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let the high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
And so to throw here on first down. All day, end zone shot, Anthony! He's got it! Touchdown! What a strike! 27 yards to double the lead.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Connecting with us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, the head coach of Duke football, ahead of their game hosting NC State Saturday at 4 p.m. Coach, thank you for the time. Let's jump right into how your season started. Last year, 5-0. This one, 1-2. How does that change or the way you lead your locker room and get them prepared for conference play?
Well, look, your record is out of our control at this point. What's happened in the past, to me, what matters is what are we learning from these games. We've played better teams than we played last year. I think we're a better team than we were this week 1 year ago. But we got to go out and win some games. So we've, like I said, the good competition we've played has taught us a little bit about ourselves. We got another good one this week and a chance for us to play a complete game.
If it's taught you about yourselves, what have you learned about your team that maybe you didn't know 3 weeks ago?
Well, we have a really good football team. I think our players recognize that. They believe that. So now it's what's keeping us out of the winner's circle at the end of the game, right? And things that are in our control. We certainly can play better in all 3 phases. Finishing drives on offense, a third down defense has let us down on third and long, especially, and then a level of consistency in our special teams performance. Starting with our specialists, returners, and going out from there. So those things that we've all been working on very hard. I think our team, to their credit, they've been intentional in how they've attacked it all. this week in practice, and that's what you get in sports. You get another opportunity to go out and show your work.
We're talking with Manny Diaz, Duke football head coach. Coach, I played college football. I've covered college football. Every coach preaches turnover. You got to win the turnover battle. -6 in that category, just one turnover forced by your defense. How do you work on that? Can you coach like ball hawkedness to your defense to go out there and get their hands on the ball more often?
Well, you can. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time in this defensive scheme, and we've multiple times have led the nation in turnovers. And there have been other years where you don't quite have as many, but when they come, they start coming in bunches. And I mean, even the year we first had the turnover chain in Miami, we had very few in September, and then all of a sudden by the end of the year, we were one of the top teams in the country. So what you do is you stay after it. You stay with your standard. And like I said, I think it ties into what we've been defensive. We've done a good job. The formula is stop the run and get people in long yard situations. We've done that because 3rd and long is when the most turnovers occur. Now we have not been capitalizing on that. There's different reasons that are internal that we're working through to that we think that we can just up our level of execution. The turnovers will also come.
I do love the title of Duke head football coach when I'm introducing you, but my second favorite is mastermind of the turnover chain, which they give you credit for on the Wikipedia. So Manny Diaz, mastermind of the turnover chain, joining us on the Easter Automotive Group hotline. One of the guys that's helping you get defensively in those 3rd and long situations, Vincent Anthony Jr. When someone starts their season and has the measurables that he has and starts their season like he has with the 5 sacks and all the other impressive statistics, are you hearing from just about every NFL scout in the country about a player like Vincent Anthony Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, we've actually had all 32 teams come through, in Durham, and that's important to us. We want to be a destination for the National Football League and have kids that are smart, tough, and dependable and have Duke degrees, but are also outstanding football players that the NFL wants. And so it's not just VJ, even though he's off to the good start sack-wise. It's because he plays alongside of Wes Williams, on the other side. So it's hard to double one guy, and Aaron Hall and Josiah Green on the inside. We felt our defensive front would be a strength of our football team this year, and I think after the first 3 games, it's proven to be true. Now it's going to be an outstanding challenge this week against, by far the best skilled offense we'll have played to this date.
Very good skilled offense, and we'll talk about the matchup in a second. But your skilled offense also putting up some stats. Darian Mensah, 3rd in the country in passing yards. Is that how you want your offense to run, where a player like Mensah can sling it around and put up stats like that?
We want to be able – our idea for offense is that we want to be able to be so diverse that whatever you're trying to take away, we can beat you the other way. And so we've got a quarterback that's thrown for 1,000 yards, but our yards per carry is up from in the 3s to over 5 this year. And that's without playing in a game where the last 2 weeks of 4th quarter we've had to throw the ball just to try to come from behind. So we feel like we're dangerous and explosive in the run game and in the pass game. But that's why we got to get the ball back to our offense, right? Defense allowing 3rd downs is what allows the other team to stay on the field and keeps our offense off the field. So our guys have a lot of confidence in what we're doing. They have a lot of confidence in Darian. And then, like I said, we've just got to – if we'll do a better job of finishing drives in the red zone with touchdowns instead of field goal attempts and get the ball back to those guys a little more, I think you'll continue to see the evolution of who we are and what we want to be.
Do you have a hierarchy in that running back room? Because – you've really had 4 guys contribute in a big way from the running back position. Is there an ideal, splitting of the carries or usage for those guys?
It can depend week to week. It can depend as the game goes on. Someone might get hot. You're never fully in control of what's getting called when a certain guy is in there. But what's best for us is that we do have confidence in all of our guys, that they can play fast. It's going to be hot here on Saturday. And so, the defense starts to wear down because they got to chase the ball every play. And then all of a sudden you've got a really fresh running back coming in, running as hard as they can. I think that's got to be a huge advantage for us.
Manny Diaz, head football coach for the Duke Blue Devils. They're hosting NC State Saturday at 4 p.m. Coach, I know coaches that every game is important and they're, the nameless, faceless opponent. But for this one, right, crosstown team in your conference, ACC opener, you're trying to get that record back to 500. This week's a little bit more important than some of the others, right?
Well, our league matters, right? And to win our league, you have to win the state. And so, anytime you get a chance to play any of the Big Four teams, that is a big deal to us. So it is. So our guys are excited. Getting to be back at home is exciting for us as well. So, but it's not going to be won by excitement, because guess what? They're going to be excited too. I got a lot of respect for Dave and how he's, coaching those guys up, and they'll be here with a chip on their shoulder as well. So, as what generally happens, motivation will matter early, but both teams will be motivated. So it's got to come down to something else, which is generally speaking going to be execution.
You brought up their explosive offense earlier in the interview. I want to double back to that one. What are you seeing from specifically the young backfield of quarterback C.J. Bailey and running back Hollywood Smothers when you're watching them getting ready on tape?
Well, the back, you see the speed and you see his acceleration, and they can call a run play and he can hit the run anywhere. There'll be, last week there was an unblocked guy sitting there out there and contained, and a second later he had already blown past him and was circling the defense to the sideline. So you have to be very disciplined in your run fits. If somebody tries to stick their nose in somebody else's gap, he's going to do a great job of finding it. So to have that run game certainly is the quarterback's best friend. You complete all the passes, you turn a hand off to your running back. So with the skill that they have at receiver and tight end, they become a very complete offense. And again, similar to what I was just mentioning about us earlier, is that it's kind of hard to take away everything they have, right? Because, if you want to devote all your attention to slow down the passing game, then they've got a running back good enough to hurt you, and then vice versa.
And then from the opposite side, as you're getting ready for NC State's defense, which, from a national perspective might not be getting the star treatment that Bailey and Smothers are, when you're prepping your offense, what are you prepping them for the biggest challenges on the state defense?
Well, they have the most important stat in football, which is right now they're 3-0, right? They've played winning. They've played winning defense, and you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop the run and limit explosive plays. Keep the ball in front of you, make you drive the long way, and then play great in the red zone. They won the Virginia game on a red zone interception, and so they have, like I said, they'll have a confidence, because that's what winning does. Winning breeds confidence, and it's important that we have enough from our performances to know what we can do and how we can execute against not just NC State, but really anybody that we play.
And then the last part about coaching, and I always say this, you have to coach the whole person, right? Not just the scheme. Is there a relief when talking to your quarterback, Darian Mensah, that the Tulane game is now, for whatever that was emotionally for him, it's now in the rearview mirror and you're getting towards whatever normalcy you can find in the ACC schedule?
That's probably true. That's a really difficult situation to get put in. I thought he handled it with class before, during, and after the game. But this is something that's going to become more common in our sport. And like I said, I'm proud of him. The team has a lot of respect for how he plays, but more importantly, who he is. And he'll need to be at his best on Saturday.
How is the chemistry with some of those new wide receivers, right? So much of your team returned, but Mensah and Barcade and Anthony, these guys were the new pieces. You're a quarter of the way through the season. Are they on the same page?
Yeah, our passing game has probably been sharper early in the season than I even thought it would. We still have more development to grow, just because we do have so many new faces. But adding, Barcade and Anthony have really been dynamic. Pairing them with Higgins and Brown, who were both coming back from a year ago. Chase Tyler and Jaden Moore contributing in their second year in the program. And then the tight ends, Landon King had caught his first touchdown last week. We go deep at running back. That's going to be an important deal. It's just how our depth and again, our ability to stay on the field on offense, and our ability to get off the field on defense, and to wear down a defense, which doesn't matter who you are and how well you're playing. The more snaps you play, the harder it is to play this game.
You brought it up earlier. It's going to be a hot one on Saturday, and the excitement we talked about will be palpable. I'm looking forward to it, Coach. Good luck this weekend, and hopefully we can catch up again later in the season.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on.
Once again, that was the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, Manny Diaz, joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline earlier today ahead of their contest against NC State. Before we stay on the football side of things, but get to football at 4 and talk a little Panthers, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Obviously, that's a fun thing we're all looking forward to this weekend, but something I always look forward to, it's the fall open house at the Aluminum Company. That's right, join the fan tomorrow at the Aluminum Company on Hamlin Road in Durham tomorrow afternoon as we host the drive live from 3 to 6. Again, it's the Aluminum Company Fall Open House. Join us for giveaways, on-site homeowner consultations, and free food, folks, and free food. By the way, I've had work done. My girlfriend and I have had work done through the Aluminum Company in North Carolina. Great people, awesome folks. Just it's a free consultation. If you're thinking about getting stuff done for your home, swing by the Fall Open House tomorrow. We'll be out there. And also you can swing by the Fall Open House on Saturday as well, the Aluminum Company in Hamlin Road in Durham.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, back with football at 4 in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for calling Spectrum. My name is Angie, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. How can I help you today?
Great. You're still there. It must be like 3 a.m.
Oh, we're always here 24/7. What can I do for you?
I know it's late, but I wanted to ask you about the best place to set up my router.
It's never too late. We'll have you up and running in no time.
Only Spectrum has 24/7, 100% U.S.-based customer support. It's only everything. Spectrum fiber-powered internet. It's the fastest and most reliable internet. Go to Spectrum.com to learn more.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, they're not just about buying and selling homes. They strengthen local communities. To date, Howard Hanna Allen Tate has contributed more than $27 million to public education, children's health care, and dozens of other initiatives that improve the quality of life in the neighborhoods where their agents live, work, and play. Because strong communities create lasting value for everyone. If you're looking for a real estate company that believes in meaningful impact, visit howardhannatate.com and let them show you how they're built differently.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Looking at partly cloudy skies for this afternoon. Feeling okay out there. Temperatures in the mid-80s. It'll feel fairly warm, but the humidity is on the moderate side. Mid-60s overnight tonight and mainly clear. Mostly sunny tomorrow and hotter with highs almost to 90 degrees.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bill up 124 points to 46,142. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4. Panthers play the Falcons this weekend. Home opener for the Carolina Panthers. And I was thinking about it. This matchup for Panthers fans, it's a little bit like a funhouse mirror, kind of looking at yourself. The similarities between the Falcons and the Panthers, hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Kind of a random run out of nowhere in the late 90s, early 2000s to a Super Bowl that you lost. Then in the 20-teens, you randomly make it to another Super Bowl when you also have an MVP quarterback who also, for whatever reason, is not included in the elite quarterback conversations and is seen as a borderline Hall of Famer when you're Your team probably thinks they're an obvious Hall of Famer. You got the 6'4", highly drafted number 1 wide receiver, one of the bigger wide receivers in the NFL. You got the young, highly drafted quarterback that you're hoping takes a step forward. You want your offense to lean on the running game to open up everything else. You're depending on multiple rookies to bring spark to the defense. You're both chasing the Bucs in the division. A lot of similarities there. A lot of similarities there. A little Funhouse Mirror edition. But I think in a lot of ways, the Falcons maybe did things in the way that Panthers fans were clamoring for. Things like get the wide receiver first, then bring in the quarterback, so he has a number 1 to throw to. Things like not only drafting rookies to give a spark to your defense, but playing the rookies that you drafted to give a spark to your defense. Things like maybe embracing that MVP quarterback and welcoming back to the stadium whenever he wants to be back in that stadium. And even though he went and played for another team for a year or two, that you don't hold that against him. Yeah. Could be a little interesting deal here. And I want to focus in on the differences, right? They drafted Drake London and actually Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, right? All of the pieces that a young quarterback would like ahead of drafting Michael Penix Jr. So now he, in his first year as a starter, which he took over late for Kirk Cousins last year, he has these go-tos that he can lean on. Because of the order in which the Panthers did it, in that they drafted Bryce Young and then started bringing in the weapons, this is kind of the first year where it feels like he has a true number 1. So you could argue their development is similar in that if I am the Panthers defense, I am making sure Drake London doesn't beat me. In the passing defense specifically. If I am the Falcons defense, I'm making sure Teteroa McMillan doesn't beat me. And I'm seeing whether it's Darnell Mooney or Hunter Renfrow or whoever else in that pass-catching offense can be the difference. And then there's this defensive rookie pop element. Because there's this other thing hanging over this matchup, which is the last game of the season last year, which is easily the best game of the Bryce Young era. But there are big differences for both teams, and a lot of the rookies on defense are the part of that. Dan Graziano from ESPN, he's been putting out, he and Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, NFL Insiders, have been putting out these articles that are just like what we've been hearing in the NFL. Once a week, what we've been hearing. I have a quote here from Graziano about the Falcons defense. Graziano says he might have underestimated the Falcons defense. Atlanta is relying on rookies in 4 key spots, but all 4 are playing well and looked outstanding, flustering J.J. McCarthy on Sunday night. When he visited the team's training camp in late July, they talked to defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, who was fired up about the new scheme they were installing. He told me I wouldn't want to play us the first couple of weeks of the season. That's part of what Graziano said about those rookies. You may say, well, which rookies are they? Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman in the secondary, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., rookies on the edge, meaning edge rushers. Again, going back to that whole like Bizarro world thing, a lot of people wanted the Panthers to draft either Jalen Walker or James Pierce Jr. At their picks in the first and second round. James Pierce ended up being traded back up into the first round. But Jalen Walker was available there with their first pick, and they chose to go Teteroa McMillan. Xavier Watts was a popular second-round mock draft from fans for the Carolina Panthers, and he ended up falling even a little bit further, and he's been making plays. Their positions of need and the Panthers' positions of need this offseason on defense were very similar. They both got 2 pass rushers. Falcons decided to mortgage their future a bit, traded away a future first-round pick to go get James Pierce Jr. They walked away with 2 firsts on the edge. The Panthers were a bit more patient. They got a second-rounder in Nick Scorton and a third-rounder in Princely Umanmielen. They needed pop in the secondary. The Falcons went with a more coverage-oriented guy in Xavier Watts. He also can come up and he's not exclusively that, but a little bit more of that. Panthers decided to go with the dog mentality and went and got one of the more physical safeties in the entire draft in Lathan Ransom. They've approached a lot of the same problems in the last 5 years in similar but slightly different fashion. And they go into Sunday. They go into this weekend with a little bit of like, let's see who did it better. Let's see who did it better. Let's see who rebuilt better. Let's see who picked the right rookies. Let's see who trusts the rookies. Let's see who's handling their offense the best. And as of right now, I would say the Falcons probably are, but the Panthers can make up ground. And we talked about it earlier with the locations of some of the injuries that could possibly be hitting the Panthers this week. Bobby Brown didn't practice today, one of their bigger interior offensive linemen. Pat Jones didn't practice today, one of their veteran edge rushers. Xavier Legette is dealing with the hamstring. He was again limited today.
Already without Corbett and Hunt on the offensive line.
Very true. Already without a couple of guys up front.
Tershawn Wharton, defensive lineman as well, like Bobby Brown. Tershawn Wharton's definitely going to be out for sure.
There is a need for these rookies to step up for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, for sure.
And even guys that have already stepped up. Tedero McMillan's been one of the more impressive rookies of this entire NFL season. He has to step up even further if a player like Xavier Legette can't go. Princely Umanmielen had his first sack this past week. He might have to play a whole bunch more snaps if Pat Jones can't go. Nick Scorton, same thing. Cam Jackson. Even like a Jaden Crumity, who isn't a rookie but is very much on the green, youth, inexperienced side of things rather than the veterans that have been playing those reps, they're going to have to step in and make plays. Which is, again, I look at the Falcons, maybe like a year ago, they were having those same conversations about so many of their young guys where you're going, you know what, you're just going to have to be a difference maker. I don't care that you've been in the league a year. I don't care that you've been in the league 2 years. You're just going to have to be a difference maker. Which, another way to put all of this information I just fed you is it's a bit of a coaching matchup, right? The younger a player is, the more they depend on the coaches to put them in situations to succeed, right? The veteran players, they'll get themselves into this position to succeed, right? The veteran players, they've seen everything twice. They've seen everything 3 times. They know how to react. The younger players are the ones who are out there with a little like, hey, get me into a situation where my physical abilities can take over. Set me up for success, and I can take it from there. So both of these teams, I'd say Michael Penix Jr. and Bryce Young, chiefly amongst them. Put me in a situation where my strengths can shine. Tedero McMillan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Hey, we are big, tall, strong, fast guys. Put us in a route where we can win with that, and we'll be A-okay. But Xavier Legette, if you get me into a situation where I got to route somebody up, that's not my cup of tea quite yet in my career. If I were a 7-year veteran and I'm on my 2nd or 3rd contract and I've been routing dudes up slightly better each year for almost a decade, then yeah, you can give me a complicated situation and I'll thrive. But there's not many of those guys in this game. Hunter Renfrow, Darnell Mooney are the ones that are like, yeah, I'll route somebody up. They're also, hopefully not the top option on their offense.
It's interesting you bring up the coaching matchup because Raheem Morris in his 2nd year coaching the Falcons, known as a defensive coach, got those young guys on defense. You have 7 sacks through 2 games, especially look at the way they played this past Sunday. But then also you got to factor in the Dave Canales, offensive head coach in his 2nd year. His offense is sputtering through 2 games, even though he has the first-round draft pick in McMillan. The first-round draft pick last year was Xavier Legette. The offense is sputtering. I just find that very interesting that the coach that the side of the ball that these guys are mostly in charge of, as in terms of head coaches, one's doing better through 2 games so far this year than the other.
And both, like with the defensive-minded head coach for the Falcons, the offensive-minded head coach for the Panthers, they both have the same coordinator on the opposite side that they had last year. So this year screams improvement for both of them. One of them might be seeing it a little bit more than the other.
Also, this as well, keep this in mind. I find this very interesting. Remember when Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator with the Rams. You know who was coaching underneath him before becoming a defensive coordinator with the Denver Broncos? Ejiro Evero. There's history there.
Oh, yeah. And that means out there that would have been Canales in the same division running some of the offense for the Seattle Seahawks. There would have been some competition going way back there. And Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, was also out there with the Rams working under Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of it's like a soap opera, right? A lot of previous relationships, and I remember you from Shady Acres. There's a lot of that going on. It's an interesting matchup. And by the way, you like these in the division. I like divisional matchups with history. I like divisional matchups with Tedero McMillan saying, everyone comped me pre-draft to Drake London and Mike Evans. I get to face each of them twice every year to show how that was a disrespectful. I'm so much better than. Like, I like the ones with a little bit of stank on it. Not Stankoven. He's centering the second line for the Canes. A little bit of stank on it. A little different. Stankonia, that's a classic album. Stank on it. That's what we're talking about. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Hey, listen up, everybody. If your rate begins with a 7, what are you doing? Right? If your rate in your mortgage begins with a 7, what are you waiting for? Call up Miller Lending and let them get a refi done for you. A little refinance with no money out of your pocket. A no closing cost refi allows you to get that rate down, lower your monthly payment with no cost to you. And here's the beauty of it. With a no closing cost loan, a no fees, no surcharge, no cost loan, if rates drop again in the next year, do it again. And if they drop again, do it again. Keep doing it. There are people that have done this a bunch of times because why not? And they're happy and satisfied every single time because who wouldn't be with a lower monthly payment? It really is that simple sometimes. If your rate starts with a 7, you definitely need to give them a call. If you're looking for a mortgage, you definitely want to give Miller Lending a call because they can hook you up with a no closing cost mortgage as well. It's not just refis. The number to call is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. You can also visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We have the ladder challenge coming up next. We have a epic Cons and Cons coming up next. But before any of that, as soon as we return, I'm giving the next keyword in the Sin City Skateaway, the word that could end up winning you a free trip to Vegas. Right after this, don't go anywhere.
Finally.
Yes, finally. There's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Finally! Listen to your favorite hosts, your teams, and live sports action.
Touchdown, Philadelphia! They are destroying the Chiefs!
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
It's the final shot at the Championship 4. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Football season is here, and Carolina Ale House is the place to be. With a massive beer selection, wall-to-wall TVs, and our award-winning wings, you'll never miss a play. Add in our lineup of homemade favorites, and you've got the best seat in the house. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and help us create that game day atmosphere all season long at Carolina Ale House. Wings, beer, sports, repeat. Hell yeah.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hands off, boy, an immediate hit by C.J. Mims, and the ball came out. Carolina comes out of there with the football. Mekhi Bear is sprinting down the far sideline. He's going to take it for a touchdown.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Quick bit of news here. This is just, I know we aren't the most extensive in our baseball coverage, but I am big on appreciating greatness. Did you see who's retiring?
I did see.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yep.
Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers have announced, will retire at the end of the season. They said his last regular season start will be Friday. They still have like 10 or something games left. So
it's his last regular season start at Dodger Stadium.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I was like, they're shutting him down. It's a weird, quirky story. There is a game, and you can go find this on social media. The video goes viral every couple of years, where Clayton Kershaw is making one of his first starts. I think he's 19 or 20 years old, and the original scheduled starters for the game were Randy Johnson and Greg Maddux, and they were like 44 and 42 years old, and they both got scratched. Okay. So people bought tickets thinking it was going to be one of the last chances they had to watch Greg Maddux and Randy Johnson. Probably the last chance they were going to have to see them square off against each other. And at this point in time, I believe Greg Maddux was on the Dodgers. So they get scratched, and guess who the fill-in starters were? A 19-year-old Clayton Kershaw and a 20 or 21-year-old Max Scherzer. And the announcement is Vin Scully going, people showed up here to see Randy Johnson and Greg Maddux duel on the mound, and instead they're going to get relative unknowns, Clayton Kershaw and Max, and he calls him like Scherzer. He doesn't even pronounce his last name correct. And Scherzer with 3 career wins, and Clayton Kershaw still looking for his first, something like that. And it turns out, like, if you bought the ticket hoping to see 2 Hall of Famers, 2 greatest of all times, well, you did. You just didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
So now with Kershaw on the way out, it's like, oh, geez, this is one of those passage of time moments for sports fans out there. We now have a dude with a long, storied career whose career began when Greg Maddux's ended. And Greg Maddux feels like he was just the stud pitcher for the Braves like 5 years ago, but turns out that was a Clayton Kershaw and a half ago. Oh, by the way, if you look at like the recruiting rankings right now for college football or basketball, they're all just the sons of people that you watched play in the pros.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of stuff making me feel old in sports recently. But Clayton Kershaw retiring, obviously a great career. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Right now, I promised a keyword, so let's get to that. It is time for a Sin City Skateaway keyword. Today and tomorrow, your last chances to hear keywords on 99.9 The Fan. Text them in and get an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Before I give you the keyword, I'll let you know what prize you are trying to win. One lucky winner will win the ultimate Vegas hockey trip. Pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena on October 20th. Round-trip airfare for 2. A 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino with a $400 food credit. It is a hockey fan's dream trip. Don't miss your shot at the ultimate hockey getaway. Brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. The keyword for this hour. Hopefully we don't have to talk about this keyword much this season. Ref. R-E-F. Ref. If you text in ref right now to 919-860-5326, you will gain an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. You have until 5 o'clock, so about 40 minutes, a little less, to text in ref before that keyword expires, and we move on to the next in the next hour. Ref, R-E-F, to 919-860-5326. And there's one more chance to win. There's one more chance to get an entry. There's this hour, 5 o'clock hour, noon to 6 tomorrow here on 99.9 The Fan, and one additional chance to get an entry. Just join Victoria tonight. It's actually tonight. At Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail from 6 to 8. She'll be there for a sports watch party. She'll also have a QR code for you to scan, and that will score you an extra entry into the Sin City Skateaway. So keep listening for the keywords here live on 99.9, and go hang out with Victoria at the Lake Boone Trail Buffalo Brothers tonight from 6 to 8, and you can gain another entry that way. Now, with that being said, here on the drive, let's jump to the ladder challenge.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
Ladder challenge. Dennis and I go back and forth with likely to win gambling picks between minus 500 and minus 1,000, one a day. If you win, you roll over the winnings, you roll over the stake, and you try to keep it going all the way to the end of the month. If you lose, you go back to $10. Whoever has the most money at the end of the month is the winner. I was in the lead going into yesterday, and I was once again a winner. Phoenix Mercury plus 16.5 over the Liberty. The Mercury won outright by a good amount.
Well, there you go.
So my full Costanza approach of thinking of what I would normally pick and picking the opposite continues to work in the month of September. All I knew is the Liberty had stars. The Liberty were the defending champs, and they were the favorite. So I picked the Mercury, and they won outright by a good amount. So there you go. I'm up to $28.28. How did yesterday go for you, Dennis?
Went pretty well for me yesterday. I had Jose Soriano of the L.A. Angels to give up at least one earned run as a starting pitcher. He gave up like 4 pretty quickly. So that hit for me. So I'm up to $21.34.
For tonight, this is funny. This was unplanned, but during the commercial break, Dennis brought up some betting numbers to me, and I'll tell you how this all plays into it. My bet for today is, in the interest of staying full Costanza, picking against what I would normally pick. There is a Thursday night football game tonight between the Bills and the Dolphins. Yeah. The Bills are favored by 12.5, which is the largest spread of any game in the NFL thus far this season. And what would you say they were on the money line?
Minus 850.
All right. So I went into Thursday night football, and my only rule right here in the full Costanza was I gotta pick something Dolphins related, right? Because my brain was telling me the Bills are going to dominate this game in every form and fashion. So in the interest of going against what my brain is telling me, I had to pick something Dolphins. I landed on this just because it fit in our odds breakdown. Tua Tagovailoa, 170 or more passing yards. It's minus 720. I just need Tua to throw for 170 or more passing yards. I'm basically going with the who in the heck is betting on the passing offense for the Dolphins right now, and then throwing 2 thumbs up and saying this guy. That would turn my $28.28 into $32.15, looking to 3x my money. That's what I'm rolling with. Let's go Tua.
I'm surprised you didn't go Bills money line on the minus 850.
That's what I would have done.
I know.
That is what my logical brain was telling me to do. So I had to go with the opposite.
I'm also surprised you didn't move the line to Dolphins plus 26.5 at a minus 770.
Was definitely in the realm of possibilities.
I'm shocked you didn't do that.
But the thing was, I kind of like Devon Achane. I think he might have a day. So I had to eliminate. I'm like, oh wait, I like Devon Achane today. I have to pick against myself. So I had to limit it just to the passing game. I couldn't bring in the running back into it. So Tua, 170 or more passing yards. In the complete antithesis of how I think this game is going to go, I'm predicting a big Tua game for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, it makes sense. They're going to be trailing by a bunch probably in this game. So
but also anytime you bet on Tua, you bring in the injury possibilities. There's always something.
I have James Cook, 40-plus rushing yards for the Buffalo Bills tonight. It's a minus 520, so my 21.34 will turn into $25.44.
Might get that one carry.
I know.
He had, the double jump cut he had this past week in a long touchdown run. Pretty special physical gifts.
He's good.
And he's paid now, so he's happy as well. That was Ladder Challenge. We'll see how it goes. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to Disney World, like a Super Bowl winning quarterback without the Super Bowl. But we will revisit that on Monday, and you can go one-on-one with somebody tomorrow.
Yeah, Paul and I.
You and Paul Ihander can go one-on-one. We'll see who wins that one as well. In the meantime, let's hit a massive, everybody involved cons and cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? Traditionally, when we come to this time of the week, we play cons and cons, and we grab a team or a couple teams where it makes sense. Like, oh, this team is at an interesting turning point. Let's put them into the cons and cons machine and see what happens. But this is the first time I was sitting around going, I think every team that we have in our possibilities would be an interesting cons and cons today. So we're throwing all three teams football-wise from the triangle ACC teams into the cons and cons. We're putting the Canes, who were on the ice for the first time today in preseason, into the cons and cons. We're throwing the Panthers, who are 0-2 going into a divisional game, into the cons and cons. And we're going to see how that goes. Now, as always, Dennis, I'm going to let you pick the order. Who are we starting with?
Canes started practice today. Let's go there.
Carolina Hurricanes, what are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? I've got good news and bad news. You always take the bad news first. My concern, goalie.
Okay.
I think this is going to be the thing we track. This is going to be the thing that's talked about often. You hope their job is made super easy, that the newly revamped forwards are scoring a ton, giving a ton of goal support, that the blue line is clicking on all cylinders and making the goalie's job as far as shots faced and everything very easy. But that's the thing to track, right? That's the thing. It's really, been the thing to track for the last few years. And it's where I'm going to be spending my concerns. What about you?
My concern is who's going to be that number 2 center? Who's going to be that second line center? Is it going to be Stankoven? Can he handle it? That's still the major question going forward for me.
As they move towards postseason, are they even on the roster?
It's a good question.
Confidence. What are you confident in when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes? I said this earlier, but it's just nice to say out loud. I'm confident in the top line. Aho centering Jarvis and Ehlers, it just feels good to say. I think that it can, Ehlers' skill set specifically, the speed, the carrying into the zone, all those sorts of things, pairs well with what Aho and Jarvis are looking for. Jarvis, if the health reports that we've gotten with his shoulder are accurate and he's feeling great, I think he could be due for a level up. And obviously I've been, asking for angry Aho. I want him to go out there and be selfish and maybe, he doesn't feel the burden of carrying that line as much with those two. So give me the top line as my most confident beast for the Canes.
Confidence is their depth overall. Like the quote unquote fourth line today was Taylor Hall, either Jankowski or Kokiniemi centering, and Eric Robinson. That's a fourth line in a lot of matchups that could score.
Mm-hmm.
And that just their overall depth of their team, and their third defensive pair is Shane Gostisbehere and Alexander Nikishin.
As they were situated today.
As today, yeah. But again, their overall depth, I think, is pretty awesome. And if something happens, they got some young guys chomping at the bit, ready to go.
It is very interesting to hear the positive reports out of the prospects, and there's all they might be due for a look this year, and I'm like, where? No, I agree.
Yeah.
They've earned the look. It's just there's not looks available right now. But hey, that's. My private jet takes too long to fill up with gas. That is a first-class problem. Where do we go next? What team's next in the cons and cons?
Let's keep it pro. Let's go Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. You can lead off on this one. We start with the concerns. What are you concerned with for the Panthers?
Yes, is my concern. Honestly, going into this weekend, I will say that just now their injuries are piling up, especially across the front because Robert Hunt, Austin Corbett are both out with their injuries. Defensive front, you have Bobby Brown on the injury report today. Turk Wharton not going to be playing. Pat Jones didn't practice for the second straight day. So your depth up front has pretty much now been depleted.
My main concern, there's many concerns, but my biggest concern is big plays.
Yeah.
And I think even if you look at the players that we consider some of the best for the Panthers, Derek Brown, Chuba Hubbard, right? Some of the offensive linemen, even hurt ones like Robert Hunt, they're not big play guys. Like Chuba Hubbard is a really good running back, but he is I'm going to give you 7 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards, 12 yards, 7 yards, 4 yards. Derek Brown is like, I'm going to stuff the run, but they're not like, I'm going to intercept this pass and return it 40 yards for a touchdown. They're not, I'm going to take this screen pass 40 yards for a touchdown. There's a lot more just good, solid play, and I think they need big plays every now and then.
1 sack in 2 games.
That would be another issue. But some really good edge-setting edge rushers, some really good run-stopping edge rushers. It's like, that's valuable, but I need somebody to go do something awesome. I want a highlight play. What are you confident in for the Carolina Panthers?
Throwing the ball to Tetairoa McMillan. That's it.
I have the rookies in general.
Okay.
Tetairoa McMillan, Prince Iwan has that 1 sack he talked about. Nick Scorton, some of the advanced analytics for get-offs and things like that, like how quickly he's getting off the line. He's pretty darn explosive. Lathan Ransom made some plays. Again, some of the pro football focused stuff was really high on Ransom. And ETN showed some pop in the return game. I like the rookies that have been given a chance for the Carolina Panthers. With that, we transition to the college side of things. The 3 teams in the triangle, the ACC teams. We'll hit them in confidence and concerns. Dennis, where do we start?
Let's go. We haven't talked really UNC much today. Let's go North Carolina.
I'll lead us off with concerns.
Sure.
Gio Lopez.
Okay.
And it could be an overarching passing game problem, but I'm putting it on the quarterback because you're the quarterback, and that's where things fall. You have to strike fear into the defense that you can attack at anywhere on the field at any point in time in the pass game. And I don't think defenses are fearing that from UNC right now. They're going to be fearful of the first drive. They're going to be fearful of outside the numbers. There's some areas on the field and in the game plan that I think defenses can take their foot off the gas. And until you prove otherwise, they're going to take that attention and put it elsewhere and make it more difficult for your run game, more difficult for your short passing game, more difficult for a few other things. So Gio Lopez needs to show that he has the full bag of tricks, or else defenses are going to continue to key off.
My concern is along the same lines of Gio Lopez. Can they actually throw the ball over the middle of the field?
Mm-hmm.
That through the first 3 games of the season, you haven't really seen. I know you saw it a little bit more against Richmond, but you're playing an FCS school. How much can I really count on that really getting fixed?
All right.
I'm just being for real.
It's an FCS school who's not even at the top of the F. They lost to Lehigh. And
exactly.
I'm just saying, as somebody that played FCS, the top of the FCS is good, okay? We'll show you.
Yeah, well, they didn't show it on Saturday.
We're not FCS anymore.
Yeah.
But that instinctual defense will go away with time.
That's totally fair. But in all seriousness, though, can they actually throw the ball over the middle of the field? Everything, it seems to be outside the numbers to the left for Gio Lopez throwing the ball.
There you go.
Predictable.
Which team do we go to next? Duke or NC State? They
we
play
got
against
good confidence,
each other.
though.
Oh, you're right. We do. That was unintentional, UNC fans. My confidence is ironically within the passing game. Jordan Shipp.
Yeah.
10 catches, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns is a really good, solid first 3 games. But when you consider the passing offense that he's been a part of, right, just under 450 yards passing total through 3 games, he has 150 of them. That's going to be a really good sign. The 2 touchdowns are, I think, a fourth of their totals. They need to get him involved more often, and I think that could help a lot with our concerns. So Jordan Shipp as a wide receiver is a good one.
My confidence for North Carolina, I think for the coaching staff, having 3 games of tape, like they can actually really figure out, okay, what actually can we do well? At least they have some semblance of what they feel like they can do well, at least in terms of what individual players can do. Again, the competition hasn't been super tough, but the more information you have, the more you can kind of scheme and game plan going forward.
What team are we going to next?
Let's go with, UNC's on the road. State's on the road. Let's go NC State.
You can lead off this one. What's your concern for the old Wolfpack?
That pass defense.
It's the same as mine. Pass coverage.
Yeah. It's that pass defense. Wake Forest, we saw them struggle offensively against Kennesaw State to start the year. Early in that first half, they were popping. But then the second half, NC State's defense really turned around. Now, is that because Wake Forest really isn't that good outside of DeMond Claiborne running and Robbie Ashford, the quarterback, running? I really don't know. But the concern is still there about their pass defense.
Chris Barnes had a good day. He had a couple breakout plays for Wake. But you're right. Their passing game is not what they're going to face in other ACC games in the pass offense. And even Wake Forest passing offense struck a couple big plays, the 75-yard that led to a touchdown. So, and there's multiple ways to fix this, right? If your pass rush gets to the quarterback faster, if your coverage unit is a little bit better. But I just have pass defense as a concern, especially going into a game against Duke where Darian Mensah is third in the country in passing yards. Like, that's a real interesting matchup. What are you confident in when it comes to State?
Offensively, it's their diversity of their skill set in my eyes. So I think they have a really good and combination of their physical size, especially a guy like Justin Jolie and even Noah Rogers. Some of these guys are big receivers, but also they have the speed, the skill, even in the backfield with Smothers. The guy has some shake to his game and that explosiveness, but if you need to pound the rock for a few plays in a row with Duke Scott, you can do that as well. And there's obviously what C.J. Bailey can be, a dual threat as a run-pass guy. Just the diversity of their skill set. They can beat you in so many different ways.
I just went with the young backfield. C.J. Bailey and Hollywood Smothers. Young and talented is a good thing to have in your backfield. They can both run, right? As Hollywood Smothers said about C.J. Bailey, the baby giraffe can run a little bit. Or that's a joke that only your running back can make. But he said it, and it's funny, and it's true, right? C.J. Bailey, he's a tall guy. He can sling the rock, but he can also get out there and beat you with his legs. I think they're going to need, like, Hollywood Smothers, the pass catcher. And they're going to need C.J. Bailey, the runner, in addition to C.J. Bailey, the passer, Hollywood Smothers, the traditional running back, if they're going to beat Duke. So their backfield. Versatility there is what I'm excited for. That leaves just Duke football. I'll give you my concern. Turnover margin. -6 through 3 games in the turnover margin. They've only forced 1 with their defense. That'll make defensive coordinators pull their hair out. I read this about it's the Clemson defensive coordinator now, who was the Penn State defensive coordinator, and before that he was head coach somewhere else. He mounts on the wall almost like punching bags, footballs in his meeting room. All the defensive meeting rooms have them because he just wants to instinctively have players every time they walk by him smack the football, punch the football. Every time they see leather, he wants them just knocking footballs. So he has them mounted to the wall. So as they walk by, right, they're walking in, watch some morning film, boom, punch the football. They're walking in, middle of training camp, boom, smack the football. You need to get turnovers. It's that darn important. So the fact that they're -6 through 3 games, I think that's a big part of the reason why they're 1-2.
To me, it's the self-inflicted wounds. We even saw it against Tulane as well. For example, line up for a field goal, 2 back-to-back false starts on a field goal, and all of a sudden that field goal now pushes wide just a little bit. So it's just, even against Illinois, when I was at that game, it was just, I didn't think the talent level was drastically different at all between Illinois and Duke. I really didn't. It was 14-13 game at half. It was just Duke's self-inflicted wounds, turnovers being a major part of that.
What is your confidence for Duke?
My confidence is their passing game with Mensah. When that dude can make every throw. Watching him in person, it's like, wow, this guy can really sling it.
I put their offensive line.
Okay.
Just 4 sacks allowed, despite a ton of dropbacks, and they've been behind in games. So the opposing team knows they have to sling it. Just 4 sacks allowed, and they're 5th in the ACC in yards per carry running. And that's without them having that bell cow stud. They don't have, at least we haven't seen it, a Hollywood Smothers. They've got 4 guys that are all, 10 to 20 carries thus far. Nobody more than 150 yards. They've got a committee going, and they're still averaging 5.2 yards per carry. When that happens, it's what's the common denominator? They're all running behind the same offensive line. So I'm confident in their offensive line. And that does it for a gigantic edition of Cons and Cons. If you have issues with it, you can let us know in the YouTube comments. Ironically, we'll be having a feedback frenzy in a couple of minutes. We'll hear some of your feedback in our YouTube comments. 99.9 The Fan. Search for it. Live stream. Comment section below. Before we do that, though, Dennis has something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know for a lot of people out there, this is myself included, people get very frustrated when it comes to trying to lose weight, especially as you get older in life. I'm now approaching 40. It's not as easy as I once was in college playing lacrosse to keep the weight down. But I had to make sure I had to change something. And through Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I've been able to get on a weight loss program that has restarted and jump-started, I should say, my metabolism. And I'm 35 pounds down in just over 6 weeks from Raleigh Weight Loss Center. That's real numbers. 35 pounds. I notice it when I put my clothes on, I have to tighten the belt a little bit tighter. The clothes are fitting much more loose. There's actually old clothes that I was almost about to get rid of that I can now fit back into. Once again, Raleigh Weight Loss Center, again, their whole goal is to reset and restart your metabolism. No shots or injections, so none of the side effects. No steroids or HGHs. We're not doing any of that kind of stuff. It's literally getting your body to do the thing it naturally can do, and that is resetting and restarting its metabolism. Again, I understand how frustrating it can be, but to see these results, this is the lightest that I've been in a decade. It's, again, the lightest I've been in a decade thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Again, clothes fit better. I have more energy. I'm sleeping a lot better. My girlfriend says I'm not snoring at night anymore. There's a plus side to that as well. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506, to set up a free consultation, just to talk to them, see what they can do for you. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or again, give them a call, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with a feedback frenzy in just a couple minutes.
Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit Lowe's.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $78 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.76 to 4.98. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
You put sunscreen on when you go out in the sun. Did you know that the sun could hurt your car, too?
too? It's true. Keep cool this summer and protect the interior from fading and cracking with a custom window tint from Soundstation and Security. The sun's harmful UV rays can also hurt your paint on the exterior. That's why Soundstation and Security offers custom ceramic coating. Think of it as a little sunscreen with Soundstation and Security. 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a feedback frenzy coming up, but first, somebody in our feedback channels in a comment did let us know that they're interested in the Sin City Skateaway keyword for the hour again. Now, I could be like the teacher. You didn't pay attention the first time, but I'm not like that. What do you need? You need the keyword again? You need to know the homework again? All right, cool. I got you. The keyword for the hour is ref, R-E-F. Text it in to 919-860-5326, and you just might win yourself a free trip to Vegas to watch some hockey, hang out at the casino, some food credits, a whole sweet hockey ultimate getaway. But the keyword that is good for another 13 minutes until it switches over to the next hour and we go to the next keyword is ref, R-E-F. Text it to 919-860-5326. There you go. Now let's get into a feedback frenzy.
All right, so a lot of conversation regarding the Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, they're back on the ice today. They're practicing for the first time, but we actually threw a poll question out there, Tim.
Let's hear it.
How do the Carolina Hurricanes finish this season? An early playoff exit? Maybe an Eastern Conference final loss again? Maybe lose in the Stanley Cup final?
Did you have to throw in the again?
I had to. Lose in the Stanley Cup final or hoisting the cup, Stanley Cup champs. 50% of the voters so far saying they're hoisting the cup, Tim.
I love the optimism. And by the way, day one of training camp, you should be optimistic.
Exactly. The hopium, it's all there.
Nikolai Ehlers and Keandre Miller were the missing links.
We also did see the line combinations, at least at the start of training camp. Again, it's all going to be fluid. It's all going to change probably at some point. But at least today we saw Rob Brind'Amour having the second line centered by Logan Stankoven, flanked by Jackson Blake and Andrei Svechnikov. And Cohnbrit said the second line, if it is the same as today, will also be formidable on a regular basis.
For sure. I also want to float this idea. Logan Stankoven being the second line center to start things, it could just be they want to see if it's plausible quick.
Sure.
Where it's like, let's either decide this is something we want to pursue or go, you're right, bad idea, put him back at forward or put him back at wing. All right, we tried it early. We can still get him most of the preseason back on the wing. So I don't know if this is truly what they're hoping the day one lines are. It could be they're still really fluid with what the day one lines are going to be. You probably feel like you already know what a KK-centered second line would look like. You don't have to go experiment with that. So, give Logan the chance. And if it works, then it's like, all right, let's go all in. Let's do it and make sure he's ready.
Cohnbrit also did say, because the fourth line, quote-unquote, had either Mark Jankowski or Jesperi Kotkaniemi at center, most likely Kotkaniemi, flanked by Taylor Hall and Eric Robinson. He says, on most teams, that's a really good third line. But for this fourth line, that's as solid as it gets.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But also, the Canes don't number their lines.
They don't. Just got to check that ice time. Check that ice time, check the matchup. But either way, I'm excited about this Canes season upcoming for sure. All right, this one comes from Scott. Let's go to the Carolina Panthers. They play this Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons, the home opener for the Panthers. Scott wants to know, is it going to distort any progress Bryce Young might have with so many injuries on the offensive line? I don't want to cut Bryce slack, but I'll be curious how much bad is on him versus the line against the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, first of all, he's played a good amount with Cade Mays.
Oh, yes.
So unfamiliarity is not an excuse there. We have to wait to see how they play. Right? Mm-hmm. If the interior is a jailbreak often, then yeah, we can look and say the injuries to the offensive line were part of the reason why If he doesn't play well, he doesn't play well. But if the offensive line holds up and plays well, and Bryce doesn't, then I'm not going to go, well, he had new offensive linemen. So there's the excuse, right? It's not like receiver where, he has to be in time with and super excellent chemistry with his guard. He has to trust his guard. The guard has to know the calls, but it's not quite the same. So it's truly let's see how he plays. If Zavala balls out, if he's just an anchor down there and he's playing great, then I don't care what Bryce does. It has nothing to do with, he didn't play well because Zavala was in there. Like, we have to wait and see how he plays.
All right, the conversation that yourself and Mike Glennon had yesterday regarding NC State taking on Duke. And Mike Glennon at the end said, hey, what does NC State have to do in order to win this game? And he basically said, just don't turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. And Will Farthing says, if it really does come down to turnovers, I'll be happy.
Oh, so this is a State fan saying that?
I'm assuming so.
There's a State fan saying if it comes down to turnovers, our guy won't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
This is how crazy college football and football in general, and I'm not calling the comments are crazy. I'm saying you can have a 19-year-old starting quarterback in a power conference, in-conference game, and they're going like, oh, I love it if it comes down to who makes the wrong decisions in critical moments because our guy's a stud. It's unbelievable how advanced some of these quarterbacks are, darn near straight out of high school. And remember this about C.J. Bailey. The high school he played at is not your normal high school. Down there in what is it, Chaminade something?
Miami?
Is it Miami Chaminade, something like that?
I think so.
Jeremiah Smith was his wide receiver number one. His second wide receiver is at Miami right now. He was on a college offense, and they're cranking out 3 and 4 and 5 stars. They're winning 6A state titles in Florida. Like he knows what he's doing. So the confidence is warranted. It's just crazy to me that a 19-year-old is like, yeah, he won't make the bad decision because he's a puppy. He's brand new to this.
All right, speaking of NC State, this one comes from the Nothing Man. This is actually in the conversation we had earlier about Duke taking on NC State this weekend. So this one comes from Nothing Man. These are the two best teams in the state of North Carolina. Again, referring to NC State and Duke. Scrimmage games against Charlotte and Richmond don't mean much. Hopefully, Doran will treat this one as a rivalry game, as he did Wake Forest, even though Florida State has been the chief rival for the Pack over the last 10 years, and even though the Wolfpack has won 5 of the last 6 against the Noles. I think whichever team plays better defense will win this game, and that the QB play will be fairly even.
This is game number 4 for the Wolfpack.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty easy argument for the first 4 games all being rivalry games.
Yeah, for real.
With ECU, Virginia, Wake Forest, and Duke. They still have their rivalry week game against UNC later on in the year. Like, there's rivalry games all over the place. Motivation is motivation. I think the players will be ready to play on both sides of this one. I think they know how important the game is, whether it's a rivalry game or not, and they'll be ready to show up and get it cracking. I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a really fun one.
Which, by the way, you can listen to that game over on Mix 101.5 as the NC State broadcast, or on Buzz Sports Radio on Saturday. You can listen to the Duke broadcast. We have it both covered for you, folks.
There you go. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that interacts with the show on our YouTube comments, social medias, and everything. Please download the app, 99.9 The Fan, to interact with us there. We have polls and everything running there as well.
By the way, speaking of interacting with the fan, come join the fan at the Aluminum Company on Hamlin Road in Durham tomorrow afternoon as we host the Drive live from 3 to 6. It's the Aluminum Company Fall Open House. Join us for giveaways, on-site home owner consultations, and free food, folks. See you tomorrow.
Free food and excellent quality conversation and potential home improvements. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. It's your season. It's your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime touchdown scores, or perhaps the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunities. If you're looking for a first touchdown or a touchdown scorer from tonight's game, Miami and Buffalo, maybe you're feeling froggy and you're saying, I know nobody is believing in Miami or their passing offense, but Jalen Waddle's going to score, darn it. If you're saying that, plus 190 anytime touchdown scorer, plus 1,600 to be the first touchdown scorer of the game, plus 1,400 if you think he's going to score a couple of them. Lines and odds are subject to change, and there's plenty of other options just from tonight's game in the touchdown scorer market if you want to check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers, I have something else for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, that's code TIMD, at signup to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543. Visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. We have the starting five coming up next and another Sin City Skateaway keyword. Don't miss it next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an AFC battle. Miami and Buffalo.
Here we go.
Woo! Pre-game starts at 7:30.
Y'all know what time it is, eh?
Kickoff at 8:15.
Hey, together, baby. We just do this one play at a time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
We came here for one thing, to win.
Is your heating and air system handling the hot weather okay? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Ready to plug into adventure? Now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, lease any new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xe and get over $21,000 off any in stock. That's right, over $21,000 off the legendary Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Electric power meets off-road muscle like never before. Go anywhere, do anything. See dealer for details. Get off your keister and get to Heister for huge savings during the Drive into Fall sales event. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Raleigh, get ready for Uncle Charlie's R&B Cookout Tour, featuring performances from Charlie Wilson, Babyface, Casey Haley, and El DeBarge. Live at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh, Friday, September 19th. Get tickets now at UncleCharlie'sCookout.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse Concert Series.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. Fall in North Carolina, as we know, means crisp nights, football Saturdays, and big savings with the Red Tag Sales event going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes. It's the best time of the year to buy your dream home. And right now, prices are slashed. You can save thousands on select in-stock homes. These are move-in ready homes with huge markdowns, but only while supplies last. Like a strong defense on the field, Clayton-built homes are made to keep you covered. Designed with energy efficiency in mind, you will stay cozy this fall, comfortable year-round, and save money on bills. Check out Clayton and Oakwood Homes to see fully furnished models, explore your options, and lock in savings. And don't wait. These homes are priced to move, and when they're gone, they're gone. The Red Tag Sale going on now at Clayton and Oakwood Homes locations and online at theredtagsale.com. Terms and conditions for the Red Tag Sales event at theredtagsale.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through 12/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available within certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRL meteorologist Mike Mays. We got the sunshine back. We got the warmer weather back as well. Tonight will be clear and warm, 64 the low. Hot for your Friday, mostly sunny skies. Hot for your Saturday, mostly sunny skies, 87.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 124 points to 46,142. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Ready to sell your home? Trust the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Let them show you a real estate experience that is different from all others.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the starting five, who wants a Sin City Skateaway keyword?
Me.
All right, let's go ahead and give it to the people. Sin City Skateaway. There's only 4 more.
Just 4?
4 more keywords that we'll give you on our show. There are 7 keywords that we'll give you on 99.9 The Fan. The one we're about to give for this hour, then 1 per hour from noon to 6 tomorrow, 3 hours of the Adam Gold Show, 3 hours of this show. Then the 1 additional entry you can gain by hanging out with Victoria Vodenecker at Buffalo Brothers tonight on Lake Boone Trail. She'll be there 6 to 8 for a watch party, and you can scan the QR code while you're there to gain an additional entry. But my point of all of this is there's not many more opportunities for you to grab entries into the Sin City Skateaway. And if you haven't heard so yet, the prize is one that you want as many chances to win as possible. It is the ultimate hockey Vegas trip. Pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on October 20th. Round trip airfare for 2. 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino, and $400 in food credits. That's the prize. Brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb and Company. The only way to gain entries are the 2 ways I told you. One of them coming up right here. The keyword for this hour, good until 6 o'clock, and then it expires, never to be good again. PAD. P-A-D. PAD is the keyword. If you text in PAD to 919-860-5326 before 6 o'clock, you gain this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Again, the keyword is PAD. P-A-D. And the number 919-860-5326. You don't have to text in anything else. You don't got to say, hello, what's going on, 99.9. You just say PAD, P-A-D, to 919-860-5326. Also, while I have your attention, right, the free trip to Vegas got your attention, download our app, 99.9 The Fan. Go to the Google Play Store if you're on an Android, the App Store if you're on an iPhone. Search 99.9 The Fan. Download the app. Give us 5 stars. Rate and review in the the store that you download from, App Store, Google Play Store. We'd appreciate that. And once you're into the app, make sure you register your profile. Give us your name, your birthday, whatever else they ask for, and give it an email that you check. Because that's how we notify winners. Things like, hey, you won tickets to UNC Clemson. Here, you big winner. Here you go. We need an email that's active that you'll check, or else that'll just, be tossed into an email that you don't use because you gave us a fake email when you registered. So give us a real email, download the app, and then enjoy the app. There's poll questions, there's live streams, there's YouTubes, there's articles, there's everything that you need.
And the contest that we're giving away, these early sign-up prizes, our first is a pair of tickets to the Clemson, North Carolina game at Kenan Stadium on October 4th.
A lot of coaching power in that one.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. With all that said, now it's time for the starting 5. Let's jump into number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
Third and goal from the 4. Smothers to the right of Bailey. 4 targets to work with. Snap back. It's an all-out blitz. Locks it over the middle. Touchdown. Joe Lee's second touchdown haul of the game.
So, actually, we were going to talk a little college football here. I'm going to pivot.
Oh, okay.
Big day for Wake Forest basketball.
Oh, okay.
The Placide, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, Twins have committed to Wake Forest. They did so on the CBS College Basketball YouTube channel. They are the number 50 and number 78 overall recruits in the nation.
Okay.
In
Props,
2026. That is, if you believe what 247's composite rankings and things have done over the years, Gavin of the Placide Twins is the 5th highest rated player to commit to Wake Forest ever. And Gallagher, the other Placide twin, would slide into the top 15 to ever commit to Wake Forest.
Well, look at that.
I always, just side note of recruiting, I always wonder why like the highly recruited twins don't become the most recruited people on the planet, because it truly feels like a package deal, right? Like the Boozers for Duke, now the Placides for Wake Forest. There's got to be like a multiplier, right? If you're the number 50 and number 78 recruit in the country, but if you land the 50, you get the 78, or if you land the 78, you get the 50. They got to be combined to be like the 12. You know what I mean? Like they might be 4 stars individually, but together they make a 5-star impact. It's a good job by Coach Forbes and Wake Forest. Those are the type of 6'9", 6'8", like there's some guys that can play. Big recruiting. The other, and this just kind of builds into the conversation, I'm seeing that commitments are down coming out of high school.
Interesting.
Just overall commitments are down because schools are saving scholarships for more transfer portal guys.
Okay, makes sense.
And B, schools don't know how much money they have to spend. So players are almost waiting, going like, I want X amount of dollars, and the school's going, well, can you wait 6 months so I can find out if we have that in the budget or not? I don't know if I have that in so like the commitments are just coming in later. Now, obviously, that won't affect guys like we're just talking about, right? Like 4 stars are always going to have a place to play. But it is interesting to think that coaches might have to say, I don't know, can you give me a couple months? Like, it's almost like, they're struggling with rent. It's like, please, just give me 2 more weeks. I'm going to come up with the money. And they're like, fine, I'll hold off on my commitment for another couple of months. Go talk to your uncle. See if you can get the cash. Like, coaches are out there just scrounging up whatever money they can find.
I got to swing by the pawn shop over here.
No, seriously, I've got some things I can get rid of. Let me see if I can get out from this cash to this junior that's underperforming. I'll give it to you. It's going to be a weird, weird market in sports until they get all of this into a place that's more controllable. But I say all that to say this. Credit to Wake Forest. That's a big recruiting day for them. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Wilson airs it out. Deep right for Neighbors. Double coverage. And Wilson dropped it in the bucket for a touchdown. Oh, my goodness.
The NFL is the content machine that keeps on cranking. Tonight, Miami at Buffalo. Panther fans, this is kind of a harrowing conversation to have real quick. Miami's what? They're a 12.5-point dog?
Yeah.
Their coach is on the hot seat. Quarterback is on the hot seat. Wide receivers are apparently, or at least one of them, apparently disgruntled. Not winning games. Maybe like that. Didn't it feel like the Dolphins had some kind of a championship window that opened and closed in like a 10-week span?
I don't even know if it was even that long. I get what you're saying, though.
They were one of the buzzy teams for a second, and then it was just gone. This is why the harrowing thing that I want to point out. At one point in time, I used Tua Tagovailoa as the example for why Bryce could work in the NFL. Alabama guy, undersized, maybe not the most impressive physical tools, not the strongest arm, not the fastest guy, but mobile enough, strong enough arm. But the things that they did well were they processed extremely quickly, anticipated very well, threw accurately. And I went, well, like, look at Tua. He's making it work, right? As soon as he got his Tyreek Hill, he blew up. So I'm going like, all you need to do is give Bryce his stud receiver, and he'll electrify the league. Get him his play caller. Well, he still has Tyreek. He still has his old college teammate Jalen Waddle. He still has Mike McDaniel. He still has Devon Achane, and the offense just ain't working. Maybe that style of quarterback ain't around to stay very long. So it's like, I don't know, if you pointed to him as your beacon for like, this is how we make Bryce work, and then he doesn't work, it's not as confidence-inducing as you once hoped it would be. This is going to sound weird, but I had this conversation with Dennis off air the other day. I think the NFL is going to make a weird swing back to like 6'5", 230 laser rocket arm quarterbacks. It felt like for like 10 years, everybody pretended like size and arm strength didn't matter when it came to a quarterback because like Drew Brees was good. And then everybody was like, it's cool. You don't have to be 6'3" or above. Like Russell Wilson worked. You don't have to.
Baker's not the biggest guy.
So then Baker, Kyler, Bryce, Tua, like this whole generation of like, you can be small. And now look at the best quarterbacks in the league again. It's Justin Herbert, it's Josh Allen, even guys like Mahomes, and like unless you're Lamar fast and you can do that kind of stuff, I think you're going to be looking back for, you need the strong arm, you need the heft to you need durability. Much more of the era right before, which was the Mannings, the Bradys, the Roethlisbergers, Rivers, even the Matt Ryans. Like, you got to be 6'3", you got to be 220. I think it's going to swing back that way. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3. The spring transfer window for college football is just gone. College football is officially moving to a single offseason transfer portal window. The NCAA announced Wednesday. The Division I Administrative Committee voted to approve a legislative change that eliminates the spring transfer window, but did not sign off on establishing January 2nd to 11th as the lone portal window, which is what was proposed for FBS and FCS players. And we have Dave Doran, one of the head coaches in the Triangle, obviously of NC State, talking about that exact decision. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think it's better for roster management. I don't know what the perfect zone of the calendar is because our calendar seems to change every year right now. I like that it's after most of the bowl games. I think that's a positive. There's way too many guys opting out to transfer, and all we do is talk about finish. And so giving them a calendar that allows them to finish what they started, I think is a good move. Having one window, I think, is a good move. Like, there shouldn't be 2 times a year we have to worry about guys leaving, and they sign a deal with you. They should be with you for at least one calendar year. So I think it's way better than what we had. Is this going to be the perfect window? I think we'll have to just do what we've been doing, and it's a new era. You try something, you think it's going to work, and then you assess it afterwards. You self-scout it and see what the problems were.
There's a lot that I think coaches are going to like about that. I think it's a pro-coach, pro-school rule change.
For sure.
I think it's an anti-player rule change. That's, I think, as simple as it gets.
I don't know if it's anti-player when so many other sports only have one transfer window. Like basketball, the spring sports all have one transfer window. Or I guess basketball does. But still, so many sports only have one transfer window.
The issue with basketball is a lot of their off-season stuff is in the fall, which leads that same semester into their regular season. So they can't possibly have a transfer window after their off-season practices before their season starts. Football has spring ball in the spring. You can hit a transfer portal after that and still have it plausible before the next season starts, which is, I think, huge towards players being able to make decisions that are in the best interest of themselves. If a basketball player could do their fall practice and then transfer, and it would make sense academically, then I think that should be an option. But it's really not possible there.
I think the transfer window, as opposed to the end of the season, should be just be in the spring for everybody.
I'd be fine with that.
One big for all sports, one time.
And I would even be fine if you did the 2 transfer window thing, but I would add a rule. This would be school-friendly, not player-friendly, even though I'm usually player-friendly, that you can't transfer in both. Because I thought it was ridiculous when, like, Ryan Brown from Purdue transferred to UNC in the first transfer window, then left UNC in the spring to go back to Purdue the second transfer window. That kind of stuff was like, what are we doing here? We're ridiculous.
I agree.
So I think it should be one transfer per year, at least one transfer window after spring ball. If you wanted to put two, one after the season and one after spring ball, I'm fine with that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That bit of news, number 3 in the starting 5. Now let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. I feel great about playing football right now.
The Panthers had practice today. Had a few interesting additions to the injury list. Dennis, do you still have that injury list pulled up in front of you? He's actually having a conversation with someone else. I'll jump into the Xavier Legette portion of it. Xavier Legette, do we have Dave Canales talking about Xavier Legette? All right, yes, we do. Xavier Legette had a rough game this past weekend, and he's been limited each of the last 2 practices with a hamstring injury. Here's Dave Canales taking his bit of ownership on the Legette lack of production.
Nothing specific. I think it's just a matter of just keep pounding, keep working through it, keep taking the coaching, and the opportunities will find you. And it's not all on X. This is me too. I have to make sure I do a great job of putting him in positions to do the things that he's shown us he can do well in the past. So, I take it personal as well, and that's something that I'm committed to making sure that happens. And Rob Moore is right next to him. He's in his ear and just continuing to coach him and talk to him. And that's the thing too is for all the guys. Remember who you are. Remember what you've been at your best, and you'll do that again. And that's this type of self-talk that you have to have and believe that if I continue to work, I'll do that again.
So here's the thing. Nobody wants to everybody is I'm Spartacus in the Xavier Legette, right? Everybody, it's my fault. I'm Spartacus. The hammy soreness, whatever's going on with Xavier Legette, might give them the perfect opportunity to hit a reset without having to publicly say they are hitting a reset, which is kind of like a weird silver lining. Hey, hamstrings, you don't want to mess with them. We'd rather have them miss a little bit of time than have to double back and miss a lot of bit of time. So we're gonna sit him down for 2 weeks, and that can give the offense some time to develop around him. That can give him some time to reset mentally, and that can give his hamstring some time to get healthy. Because what we saw this past weekend and in week 1 for Xavier Legette in the offense and his role within that offense is nothing that can continue. If it continues it that way, like the way they're using him and the lack of production, there's a billion other ways to use those snaps and use those targets. Dennis, there's other information from the injury list today.
Yes.
Do you have that up in front of you? Can you go ahead and read that?
I do. So Pat Jones, the edge rusher that was signed this offseason for the Carolina Panthers, did not practice, hamstring injury. So that is something to keep a monitor on as well. So he didn't practice yesterday either. Dealt with an ankle injury last week, so that's not looking good, I would say, in my opinion. Bobby Brown III, the defensive tackle they signed from the LA Rams this offseason, popped up on the injury report today, did not practice because of a knee injury. Trayvon Merrick did not practice. He's sick. A couple guys that were limited yesterday, Hunter Renfrow and J.C. Horn, they were limited just because of rest. Hey, you know what? Not do team stuff, just maybe do individuals. Those guys were full participants in practice today. But the Legette hamstring, Pat Jones not playing or not practicing, all big concerns as well. And also Tershawn Wharton still dealing with his hamstring injury. I don't think he's going to be playing this week unless some miracle happens. But when he got hurt, Dave Canales did say 2 to 4 weeks likely for him.
I do not see a ton of depth on the Panthers roster, and the injuries are starting to add up a little bit.
They might be in a situation where they may have to call up a defensive tackle off of their practice squad. If Bobby Brown and Pat Jones can't go with Turk Wharton already out, they might be bringing a guy up.
That's not where you want to be.
Yo.
Especially because interior defensive line was seen as one of the few kind of stable strengths on the team. And, going into week 3, it's already, we got to bring a guy up from the practice squad maybe?
Yeah.
That's a long fall, if you will.
I will say this, the Atlanta Falcons are dealing with a bunch of injuries as well. A.J. Terrell, their stud corner, did not practice again for the second straight day due to a hamstring injury. he might be out this week. James Pierce Jr. has been dealing with a groin injury. Didn't practice yesterday, but was limited today. I know he was on the injury report last week before their game as well. So a couple guys that would have been dealing with some stuff as well for the Atlanta Falcons.
If you're into fantasy football, there are some people think Tetairoa McMillan's in for a very big day because A.J. Terrell is not available, if he is not available. And he is tasked in a big way on that Falcons defense for taking away the opposing team's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So just a fun fact for you. That was number 2. Let's hit number 1.
The one!
As the Canes will keep it in deep. Florida looking to get it out. Forsling bounce it. Now it comes out in front. Holding shoot. He scores! Seth Jarvis with the turnover. And Carolina has tied it at 3.
The Canes are on the ice today, or they were on the ice today. I like to imagine that they practice 24 hours a day as soon as they start.
Well,
so
of course.
They're currently on the ice. No, they had the group that most people will have their eyes trained on, the C1 group was at 9 a.m., a little bit later the C2 group, which for the most part is, I mean, it's an introductory day, right? They're back on the ice for the first time. You want everybody to take it not easy, but you're obviously ramping up. You're not full go. The one bit of information that we will all take from the first day on ice and we will overanalyze and overanalyze and overanalyze is who's skating with who, what were the lines. It is 100% something that could change a dozen times before they get anywhere near week 1. But Aho centering Jarvis Ehlers as the top line, Stankoven at the second line center, centering Blake and Svetch, Stahl, Carrier, and Martinuk on the Stahl line. And then the quote-unquote fourth line, Robinson, Kokaniemi / Jankowski, and Taylor Hall. The blue line pairings, the new guy, Keandre Miller and Jalen Chatfield, providing one of the, I think, more speedy and athletic blue line pairings you'll see in the league.
I love that.
Riley was in for presumed Slavin spot. Slavin didn't skate today.
Yeah, Mike Riley, who's basically signed to be the 7th defenseman on this team.
He skated with Sean Walker, which ipso facto we can connect some dots. Seems like it would be Walker and Slavin. Nikishin and Gostisbehere, the third pairing, and then filling it in with some depth guys throughout the lines. Stankoven as the second line center, I think, is the one that we are going to catch the fan base talking about the most. So why don't we just catch Rod Brindamore talking about it? Here's Rod Brindamore on why Stankoven could work in the middle.
You have to be willing to understand that there's a lot of work that has to get in play center. There's a lot of little things people don't really understand, and you have to be willing to take the bumps a little bit. And but the fact that he's done it, like you said, in the past helps. Doesn't really help at that level to say, oh yeah, you can do it at this level. But like I said, we know what kind of kid he is. He's willing to kind of take on whatever we hand him. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't know that it'll get past a couple practices. Might go. Who knows? But you got to try something.
When you are asking someone if they want to play center for the Carolina Hurricanes, I do think that's like a 3 conversation question. Because I think most NHL players, especially elite forwards, think, oh, yeah, I could play center. I think it'd be fun. I get in the face-off circle. Oh, yeah. So you ask them the first time, you want to play center? Yeah, I'll try it. Second time you come back, it's a little bit more serious. Like, no, I don't think you – in our system, we ask the centers to do a lot. And you're going to play defense, and it's not all going to be fun. And it's not just like, hey, I get the puck more. Like, it's are you sure? And yeah, I'm sure. The third time you come with like the fire and brimstone. Have you talked to Aho? It's not fun a lot of the times. Like, seriously, I need you to have your head on straight before you commit to trying this. Yes, I still want to. All right, Logan, we'll give you a chance. Like, it's a 3 conversation confirmation for the Canes, and it's part of their system. You need your center specifically willing to do the dirty work. It's not just the glitz and glamour of being in the middle. Like, it's not all the just cool profile pictures of you in the face-off circle against legends on the other team. Like, it's also just a lot of grinding. And everything we've seen from Logan Stankoven, and albeit a short time, but his time with the Canes, it seems like he has the mentality for it.
Oh, for sure.
So I think all three of those conversations, I still think you have them with Logan, but they're all pretty quick for him I know what I'm getting into. I'm ready. Like, let me try. Like, I'm excited to see what he can do with the position.
I know Logan Stankoven today did tell Ryan Hinkle of the Hockey News that it feels natural for him because he played it for so long, like through juniors and everything along those lines. So for him, it feels like home playing in the middle. Obviously, playing at the NHL is a much, much different conversation. But it was interesting how he also said that in his exit interview last year, at the end of last season, I should say, Rod mentioned it to him about it being a possibility. So it was already clicking through their heads back then. So it's something that this isn't just off a whim. Like, hey, you know what? Camp's starting. Hey, Logan, why don't you go to the middle? This has definitely been thought of for a while.
And I do agree with what everybody's saying of like, hey, if you played center through juniors, that's very different than the NHL. Logan Stankoven is 22. And he doesn't turn 23 until the end of February. Juniors really wasn't that long ago for him, right? It's not like he's 28 and juniors was 15 years ago. Juniors was like he's a senior now. Freshman was juniors. Like, it really wasn't that long ago. So maybe that helps out a little bit with him trying to make the transition. Canes were on the ice today. That's the good news. We're having these conversations, which is just part of the fun part of covering and following a hockey team. We do need to grab some numbers game contestants, but first, Dennis Cox, what do you have for the people?
That's right. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are you maybe trapped in a high-rate mortgage, maybe watching all your hard-earned money just disappear every single month? Well, stop with that nonsense. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and come and really close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Imagine this. Lower payments every single month, more money in your pocket every single month, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. We have tickets to see Jimmy Carr at DPAC September 26th. If you want to win the tickets and the glory that comes with being a numbers game winner, you have to call in now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan.
Snap back, set down, booted up. It's got the leg. It's got the chance. It is good. A school record 55-yard field goal. Aiden Burr delivers the dagger that slays the Tigers.
College football on The Fan is powered by Roofworks and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
Ready to plug into the future?
Charge ahead at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford with up to $7,000 off a new 2025 Chevy Blazer EV LT. Includes a Wilkinson discount and customer cash. See dealer for details. Plus, this is the last month to get a $7,500 federal EV tax credit too. This electrifying deal ends at the end of this month, so hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Manny and Hudson on the line. I'm told we have some youngins on the line. That's what I've been informed. So we're going to play the numbers game the exact same way we always do, and see how it goes. I'll bring Manny on. I'll bring Hudson on. We'll ask them the same question. They will get to answer it. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. We'll start with Manny. Manny, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. I'm seeing a lot of hype around the Panthers wearing their matte black helmets this weekend. So I'm going to ask you, who has the best uniform in the NFL? We're talking fashion here. Your favorite. You got to wear a jersey. Which are you rolling with?
Oh, wow. I don't really know much about football.
Okay, we'll open it up to any sport. Best uniform in sports.
Can you repeat that real quick?
Best uniform in any sport. Best looking unis.
Carolina Hurricanes uniforms.
All right, you went with the Carolina Hurricanes. Dennis, any follow-up questions?
You like the black jerseys or the new white ones?
Black jerseys.
Okay, fair enough.
Black jerseys. Quick on that one. All right, Manny, sit tight. We'll see if you get to go first. We'll bring on Hudson. Hudson, can you hear us?
Yes.
Same question to you. In all of sports, who has the best-looking uniforms?
I'm going with the Panthers, all blue uniforms with their black helmets.
All right, Panthers. Oh, black helmet Panthers. That's what they're wearing this weekend. Dennis, you get to decide between the two local pro teams.
Oh, okay. This is actually kind of tough because I actually do like the processed blue uniform with the blue pants as well. I actually do really like the blues a lot. And the black helmet, that's a slick look. The one problem I have with the Canes black uniform is it doesn't feature their actual logo.
You're big on this.
I am.
You want the true Canes logo on the front of jersey.
I do.
All right. Well,
I do. So I'm gonna go with Hudson and the Blues on this one.
Manny,
I'm not gonna lie. I love both.
Manny, don't worry. You will have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a second or two. Hudson, are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right. The categories are NFL Baker Mayfield's boys, all players that played with their teammates of Baker at some point in his NFL career. NFL players that played for teams that don't exist anymore, including teams that have since relocated. NBA players with mid-September birthdays, or NHL Hurricanes only?
I'm going to do the NFL with Baker Mayfield.
Okay, these are all players who played at some point in their NFL career with Baker Mayfield. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
7.
Correct. Tyler Higbee, Los Angeles Rams.
87.
Incorrect. Denzel Ward, Cleveland Browns.
99.
Incorrect. Tyler Higbee, Los Angeles Rams.
88.
Incorrect. Denzel Ward, Cleveland Browns.
Pass.
Terrace Marshall Jr., Carolina Panthers.
88.
Correct. Antoine Winfield Jr., Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
14.
Incorrect. Tyler Higbee, Los Angeles Rams.
80.
You were on the path for Higbee. You got Bucky Irvin with 7. You got Terrace Marshall with 88. Higbee, we needed 89. You went 87, 88, and you didn't quite get to 89. Denzel Ward, we were looking for 21. Antoine Winfield Jr., 31. But you did get 2. So 2 is the leader in the clubhouse. Go ahead and stay on the line, okay, Hudson?
Okay.
All right. That'll bring us to Manny. Manny, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that played for teams that don't exist anymore, NBA players that have mid-September birthdays, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go with NHL Hurricanes only.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other category. And then you do need at least 3 for the win, so keep that in mind. Any questions before we get started?
I don't think so.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Logan Stankoven, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Justin Peters, Carolina Hurricanes.
30.
Incorrect. Ian Cole, Carolina Hurricanes.
Who?
Ian Cole, Carolina Hurricanes.
23.
Incorrect. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Incorrect. 11. I like where your head's at. You probably saw a lot of 11 jerseys. That's the captain there. Stankoven 22. Which you did get. Eric Robinson 50. Justin Peters, we were looking for 35 or 60. And then Ian Cole 28. Unfortunately, that's not enough for the win, Manny. But I'm hoping you had some fun, and we're happy that you joined us.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Try again, right? If you lose, you don't have to wait 30 days. You can try again another day. And that means Hudson in Coates is the winner. Hudson, congrats.
Thank you.
Jimmy Carr tickets, stand-up comedy, D-Pack, they are yours. Just stay on the line so Dennis can grab the info he needs to get from you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Congratulations once again. Hudson becoming a regular. One of the youngsters that made it all the way to our numbers game live competition this past year and has called in a few times since then. Nice performance there. I will say this: don't let the people that make these lists know what's hard to read, because just yesterday I said how Tampa Bay Buccaneers there's too much in the middle. It makes it hard to read. So of course today's list has 2 separate Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No, I'm kidding. These lists. By the way, this is actually a good point to make on the numbers game, just because some people do wonder about these lists are made like in bulk, right? And we just bring them up and put them in the categories and everything, and then obviously you get to pick your category. So there's no way that I heard somebody say if we ever have too many winners, perfect scores in a certain amount of time, that they think we then make them harder for a while. These are written in bulk way ahead of time. So trust me, we're not going back and rewriting lists. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It truly is random, and sometimes they just come in bunches because listeners, they get hot. It's just a little momentum, right? You catch a hot streak. It's like old school NBA jam. He's on fire. That's really the only explanation for it. But it is fun when we go on a run of like multiple days in a row with a perfect 5, or we get a 5 and a 5 on the same day. That's always exciting as well. Speaking of exciting, 99.9 The Fan, we have our own app. We have a phone app where you can live stream, where you can interact with us, where you can win prizes, where you can vote on polls, where you can check out all our podcasts, where really everything you need as a Triangle sports fan is in one place. So search for it on the Google Play Store, the App Store, depending on what kind of phone you have, 99.9 The Fan. Download it. Please give us a 5-star rating. We'd appreciate that. And then customize it to your liking, right? Go find the content that you like and streamline it so you can really craft your sports fandom experience to your own tastes. 99.9 The Fan. Search for it in the App Store and Google Play Store.
Did you tell them about the contest that's already going on there?
I have not yet. Can you?
I can actually let the people know. So, again, when you sign up with the profile like Tim just mentioned, again, leave us an email that you do check, because that's the way we can notify you if you win one of our contests, including, Tim, the first contest we are giving away. So it's a little early sign-up prize. First is a pair of tickets to see Clemson, North Carolina at Kenan Stadium on October 4th.
Big game.
Yeah,
fun game. All you have to do is download the app and sign up and give a real email.
That's it.
And by the way, there are other prizes coming. I keep saying this. We know what some of them are. They're awesome. Sign up, register, give the email. We just can't tell you yet. And I hate to do the I have a secret, I'm not telling you, but I have a secret and I'm not telling you. It's something that you're going to want. So download the app, subscribe, give the email, and you'll be good to go. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something else he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Law Tigers. Actually, something, speaking of signups, if you're a motorcycle rider or someone that is thinking about getting on a bike for the first time and riding, go to lawtigers.com. Scroll down on their homepage. They actually have a free rider benefit kit. That's right, free rider benefit kit. That way you can understand your rights, you can understand the benefits that you have, and everything that Law Tigers can do for you if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Again, is a free rider benefit kit. So go on to lawtigers.com and sign up for that. Again, it's good to know your rights and what benefits that you have out there for you in case you are injured in a motorcycle accident. And if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Let's all be honest, insurance companies can be a pain to work with, and let's be real. They want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and gear are worth, but also they understand the dangers of being out there on the road. They know what it's like to go through an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back. I've got to make some picks because I'm out tomorrow, and I want them on the record for the weekend. So we'll make some picks coming up next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an AFC battle. Miami and Buffalo.
Here we go. Woo!
Pre-game starts at 7:30.
Y'all know what time it is, huh?
Kickoff at 8:15.
Hey, together, baby. We just do this one play at a time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
We came here for one thing, to win.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Nobody beats a Fairway Green lawn. Kevin, what can Fairway Green do this time of the year for our yards?
Yes, many people do not realize that fall is the time to seed your fescue, not in the spring. Fall is the time to go ahead and get out there and do a core aeration seeding. Go ahead and put down a good quality fertilizer at the same time.
How can we get started right away?
Yes, visit fairwaygreen.com. We'll be out there within 3 to 4 business days. We'll leave a very detailed lawn analysis that I'm sure you'll be quite impressed with.
Great. You can also call Fairway Green, 919-329-0095.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for just over 6 weeks now. I've lost 35 pounds. 35 pounds lost thanks to the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and the folks over there, they can help you as well. I know a lot of people get frustrated when it comes to dieting. Are you eating the right stuff? Or maybe you are eating the right stuff, and things just aren't working the way you expect them to. Through Raleigh Weight Loss Center, they'll get you on the right plan, but also you don't have to deal with any of the injections or shots, none of the side effects, no steroids or HGH. It's just you and your body doing the thing it naturally can do, which is burn off fat. And not only reaching that goal weight, but also maintaining that target weight as well. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. The phone number again, 919-897-7506. Set up your free consultation, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So here's the deal, everybody. The key word for the next 12, 14-ish minutes is PAD, P-A-D, for our Sin City Skateaway. So right now, if you can do so safely, text PAD to 919-860-5326. Normally, for the Sin City Skateaway, we're giving away the trip to Vegas, the tickets to see Carolina Vegas play hockey, the room, the food, the airfare, the whole thing. During the 5 o'clock hour, I say this is your last chance today to get an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. But today, that's not true because there's one special extra opportunity you have to get an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. And to do that, you have to go hang out with Victoria from the Adam Gold Show. She will be at the Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail from 6 to 8 tonight, her little sports watch party. And she will have a QR code for you to scan where you can score an extra entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Other than that, noon to 6 tomorrow, your last opportunities. Listen into 99.9 The Fan, hear the keywords, and go ahead and text them in. That's your last chances are tomorrow.
Yeah. Which, by the way, speaking of tomorrow, speaking of the drive, I know, Tim, you're going to be off tomorrow, hence why we're going to make some picks, or you're going to at least give your picks for this upcoming weekend.
Correct.
But join the fan at the Aluminum Company on Hamlin Road in Durham on Friday afternoon as we host the drive live from 3 to 6. It'll be myself and Paul Eihander. It's the Aluminum Company Fall Open House. Join us for giveaways, on-site homeowner consultations, and free food.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to eat the plates of food that I normally eat when we go to these things because I'm going to be out of town. So can somebody volunteer to do that for me? I'd appreciate it.
Hands being raised right here for you, sir.
But on a more serious note, bring pictures. Like if there's you want to replace the siding on your house or there's something going on with your gutters or roof, right? And is that bad? Is that not bad? Do I need to fix this? What would it look like if I changed this? Bring pictures, and they can really dive into the nitty-gritty with you while you grab the free food and the entries into the giveaways and everything else. With that being said, Dennis brought it up. I'm not here tomorrow, but I'm big on accountability. I still want my predictions recorded on air. So let's make some picks. Dennis, what are we getting at?
Well, let's go right to tonight. Thursday Night Football, which you can listen to right here on 99.9 The Fan. Bills at home against the Miami Dolphins. They're 12.5-point favorites last I saw.
12.5 is a big number.
That's insane. I might give the points.
If I had to pick a team, I'm picking Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think Buffalo understands for things like Josh Allen's MVP race, for things like just kind of making their season go smoother. When you have these standalone primetime games, you better play well and you better put the pedal to the floor a little bit. So I'm expecting a big game from Josh Allen, a big game from James Cook. And who knows what the pressure of the spotlight does to Miami this year. They feel like they're hanging on by a thread. So, I don't think it's going to be a 30-point game, but 15 in favor of Buffalo, I think makes a lot of sense.
In terms of NFL matchups this weekend, it's not a lot of really compelling matchups.
They wasted it all on week one.
They clearly did. But one of the does have some local ties here. The New England Patriots at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, Drake May, Patriots quarterback, went to UNC. Peyton Wilson, linebacker for the Steelers, went to NC State. Both teams 1-1. Pittsburgh favored by 1.5 on the road in New England.
I love a home dog. I love a home underdog. And I think Drake May's actually playing really, at least last week, he played really, really well. I still think he needs a little bit of help. They're not using Travion Henderson much out of the backfield. Keyshawn Boutte is making plays, which is not what I expected. But I have a hard time not taking a home dog. So I guess give me New England in that one. They feel disrespected at home. Although I will say Aaron Rodgers can still rip it.
Yeah.
A throw that was dropped by Pat Freiermuth last week is like a top 5 throw of most people's career. I don't know if it cracks the top 50 for Rodgers, but it was a bananas throw nonetheless.
All right, Atlanta at Carolina. 5.5-point favorites are the Falcons going into Bank of America Stadium 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Atlanta's the healthier team, although A.J. Terrell is out.
Terrell's out. They have some guys that are nicked up a little bit.
I think the injury bug hitting Carolina is not what the doctor ordered for that team. I think it's a better showing from Carolina than what we've seen. They're not down 20-3 at half, but they still lose and probably don't cover. Lose by 7-10.
Okay. No exact score? Just somewhere in that range?
31-24.
Okay. All right.
And I don't like it.
Yeah.
But that's a brain over heart pick there.
Yeah. There's that. All right, let's go and jump into some of the ACC football games that we have going on this weekend, including 3:30 kickoff. You can actually watch it over on Fox 50. 2-1 North Carolina on the road at 2-0 Central Florida.
I will be in attendance for this game. You'll see 3 Donnelly men. My dad, my brother, and I are all going to the game. If you look in a particular, I think we're on the North Carolina side in the stands where our seats are.
Well, Carolina 7.5-point dogs on the road.
Give me UNC to cover.
Really?
No, give me UNC to win.
Really? All right.
But here's the thing. UCF isn't proven. Why are we acting like UCF is this proven somehow? They've beaten Jacksonville State by a touchdown and then rolled over North Carolina A&T. That's it. They've played 2 games. They've got a new coach. I know they have some maybe more returning talent and things, but hey, UNC, they've been through some trials and tribulations already. Let me see June, the running back, get rolling, and UNC can keep the ball out of UCF's hands, which allows their defense to be even more effective. UNC wins a gross one, 20-17, something just low scoring.
It's like 4 turnovers each side.
Just
something.
Yeah, a lot of turnover on downs.
Yes.
Like just 4 carries for 9 yards total. Just a lot of gross game.
20-17, 1 punt the entire game.
Exactly.
You might honestly
and it's going to be hot, and they're going to be cramping. It's a gross game.
It's going to be a little warm on Saturday at Wallace Wade Stadium. This will be the final one you choose because you got to let us know about DraftKings here in just a moment. But NC State at Duke. State 3-0. Duke 1-2. State the underdog on the road at Wallace Wade, -3.5 in favor of the Blue Devils.
I think this game is truly, and I know everyone says this about most games, it could truly go in any direction.
Yeah.
I think either team could win by 2 touchdowns. I think it could be an overtime game. I think it truly could go in any direction. If I'm making a pick, I lean on the team that has made the plays at the end to win games. So give me State. But, I'm confident Darian Mentz is going to have a big day. I'm confident Hollywood Smothers is going to have a big day. I'm confident in guys on both sides. So I think if it comes down to a couple of plays, State's just proven a little bit to have those final moments within them. So give me State, but no matter what happens in this one, you won't hear me shocked on Monday.
Over-under combined is 57.5. I feel like
I lean over.
Yeah.
I lean on the over. I think there's going to be some good individual performances on both offenses, and when that happens, some totals get crazy. Also, you might see a couple, like a pick 6 or something. I think you could have some special teams touchdowns. Like there's a little Quayshawn Brown. If he gets rolling for Duke, I think he could return one. We saw what State does in the kick return game. They didn't stop Wake Forest. So there could be some quick scores as well. With that being said, my picks are locked in. Can't change them. No text to Dennis tomorrow. Like, actually, go ahead and change this one. No, I'm locked in. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Talk about making picks. The NFL season is rolling. Every touchdown can bring you closer to a big old payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Here's the deal. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD to get over $200. Sorry, to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's exactly $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. That's where the over $200 comes in. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. That's about going to do it for us here on The Drive today. Don't forget, tomorrow is your last 6 keywords from noon to 6 in our Sin City Skateaway. So make sure you're tuned in. Make sure you're putting those in, texting those in to get your entries, because on Monday, we're picking a winner. Somebody's going to Vegas for free, and we're going to decide on Monday. So get your last keywords in tomorrow starting at noon. Download our app, 99.9 The Fan. Register with a real email for giveaway purposes there. And enjoy a great weekend. Like I said, I'm out tomorrow, but Dennis and Paul, you're in good hands. We'll see you on Monday. Until then, have a wonderful evening and weekend.
When you crave the best in college football action, you'll find it on 99.9 The Fan.
A walk-off touchdown on replay review for Josh McCray and Georgia. The Bulldogs walk off over Tennessee. Georgia 44, Tennessee 41. A 9th straight win in this series for the Dogs. Georgia is simply inevitable.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Men and Preserve Services.